It's here. It's big. And it's closer than you think. It's not a tournament. It's what you don't see on TV. The cash is real. The stakes are high. They bet big. They win big. They lose big. High stakes live action poker. Live at the bike. Watch it live on the web or play it if you dare at the Bicycle Casino right here in Los Angeles.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Live at the Bike, brought to you by the Bicycle Casino in Los Angeles, California, the first and only webcast of real action cash game poker. My name is Bart Hansen, and I will shortly be joined by Dave Tuckman. I don't know where he is. Oh, there he is. And tonight is Wednesday night. We're going to be doing 25-50, no limit hold'em, and it's whale night as usual. And Dave was probably talking to his wife, right?
Am I on?
Yeah.
I'm on. No, actually, I'm sorry. I had to take a shit.
That's beautiful.
I apologize. You know,
all right, well, we haven't missed any action. We love to start we have to start the night out on that note.
Hey, when nature calls, man.
Let's get to the table and start doing it. The game actually hasn't started. They're drawing for cards here.
Well, there you go.
So let's go around and introduce it right now.
Let's do that.
I hope you washed your hands.
I did.
Okay.
I always wash my hands. I do apologize. I mean, you got to understand it's a 3-hour show. And last thing you want to do is come into the booth, needing to do that. You're cringing. What, you don't go to the bathroom? We'll get into this subject. Seat 1, we got Mo. Good old Mo. I got to tell you, I love the guy. Seat number 2, we got Trish. Trish, I really like her game, I got to tell you. She's a solid player. And kind of the antithesis of Mike, though.
Yeah, the opposite of her son.
Yeah, that's what antithesis means. Seat number 3 is George. We got the Greek poker god there. Let's see if his voodoo doctor magic still works out here. Seat number 4, we've got good old Mike there. Guy we're talking about there. And he pulls off that bald head better than anybody I know, I tell you. Seat number 5, we've got Kirk. Actually, it's Jay. I apologize.
Yeah, there's Jay. He's action to the game.
There he is. And Jay, Jay is he's a gambler. I really like Jay. Jay's game is actually really improved. We talked about Ed's game improving over the past few months. We haven't seen Ed in a while, but Jay's game has really improved as well. Seat number 6, we've got Kirk. And seat number 7, we've got Ken. Kenny Wynn here, pretty solid player. And seat number 8, we've got good old Sean.
Yeah.
Sean's also a pretty solid player. Interesting to see him in this game. And seat number 9, that's Alan. And, not much else to say about that. Just that's Alan.
Yeah.
Easy enough.
All right, we're going to get into the first hand here of the night.
Let's do it.
Buttons over there in seat 8. That's Sean. And we got a little $150 raise here. Notice the new font here on our cards. Flop is all spades, and it's the king of spades on the turn. The flop is a 5 of hearts. And the river is a deuce. And now Sean's going to bet 500 here as he made trip deuces, but that really had no value because there were 4 spades out there, Dave.
Yeah, I got to tell you, I absolutely love this new font.
Yeah.
Don't you?
I do. I
love the font.
Yeah.
Really cool.
Dave, it was funny. Of course, you want to keep the show interactive. You can follow a live thread that started on the internet. Go to 2plus2.com, spelled out, click on forums, World Poker Tour and other televised tournaments, the official Live the Bike thread. And tonight, the chips that we are using are white chips, which are $100 chips, and purple chips, which are $25 chips. And if you see big purple chips, they're $5,000 chips, and the gray ones are $1,000. You got this one right here, this puppy, right here. There's the $1,000.
And if you see one of those big $5,000 chips, they'll look like this.
Aren't we cool?
Yeah, woo! Yeah.
Wow, look at this. Mo is going to move all in here. It was limped around. We're playing 25-50 blinds, and he's going to move all in with ace-jack of diamonds for what is it, 5,000? 2,500. I guess Mo's on the short stack. It's a $3,000 minimum buy-in here, unrestricted maximum.
Yeah.
Again, you can email us at livethebike.com. Keep this interactive. Email here from Brent Cook that was sent to us early this afternoon. He sent us a link in an ESPN.com story titled Props, Helmuth, and Bad Beats, February 27th. Dave, they were saying that a bad beat from Daniel Negredo, he was talking about bad beat in a celebrity invitational tournament he was in, called the worst beat of his career because some douchebag knocked out Cheryl Hines sitting next to him.
Doesn't say douchebag.
Buttons over here in Mo's hand. And seat number 8's going to raise it up to 200 here with pocket fours.
I get no respect. I mean, look at this. She gets in the hand with ace-jack, and the flop comes out jack 4-4. Then the turn comes over the deck, and she goes all in. A guy calls her queens. A guy.
I almost flipped over the table. I was madder than she was.
Another question.
Unbelievable. Again, we're here live at the bike. We stream live cash games every Monday through Friday from 7 to 10 Pacific time. Dave, you know, it's interesting. Kirk, I've played with him quite a few times now. Really, really tight.
Isn't he the one? Isn't he the one that you? Isn't he the one that had trip aces when you had deuce 3?
No,
Oh, no, different guy. Okay,
different guy.
I got you.
But he doesn't play many hands, and he's the first time we've seen him play on the show. He talked about he watched the show for the first time last night, and he enjoyed it, so he wants to come and play on this game.
Oh, super. Well, great.
Yep. Trish is going to raise it up here to 200 on the button. She's got ace-jack. Again, the blinds are 25-50. You can take a look and see the cards there. And Jay, I mean, that is action Jay. He's going to call. We don't have the name switched up there. It's actually Jay in seat 5. We're going to see three-way action. It's a $600 pot. Jay, Trish, and Allen.
Well, he's got the best hand.
And the flop comes 8-5 deuce. And Trish and Allen both have... And Trish is going to make the continuation bet to 400. Is Jay going to get involved here with pocket fours?
Well, Kirk's in great shape here. I mean...
Jay is in great shape.
I'm sorry, thank you. Jay is in great shape, and you see the odds there, 79%.
He makes the call here.
Me and my buddy Jay.
And the pot suddenly balloons to $1,200. And Jay checks blind here. Well, the turn's an 8. That's not going to change much. See if she takes the card here. She does.
He's got to like his fours now.
Well, hopefully a 5 doesn't come, because that would kill his hand. The river's a king. Wow, he checks and Trish checks. You wonder if Trish put a nice, say, maybe $800 or $1,000 bet in there on the river if Jay could call.
Yeah.
That's a big scare card on the river, right?
Yeah, exactly. When she checks the turn, you can pretty much put her on ace-king or ace-queen.
Right.
You know, the king's obviously going to be a scary card for her.
Yeah. And I don't know if Jay would have made that call. And the button's going to move over here to...
Oftentimes, a lot of these players will fire one bullet with their overcards.
Right.
So if they get called one time, they won't fire a second bullet.
Yep.
I was actually busy writing. I wrote a new Under the Gun column, so you can go to Live at the Bike and check out Under the Gun. It's actually not up yet, though. I just found out. Look at this. This is great. What a start by Tuck.
Yeah.
Please lie to us next time you are late, and charming Dave. Hey, you know what? We try to keep it real here, okay? I kind of feel like everybody at 2+2 and our listeners, they're friends with us, you know? They're our friends. And why would I lie and say like I was on the phone or something like that? No, man.
Trish has raised it up here with ace-king to 200 here. Mike is going to call with pocket 5s. Mike is her son. Now, Jay's got ace-jack offsuit. I believe he's made the call as well in seat 5.
And that'll probably bring Mo in there with 6s.
Mo's got 6s.
Yeah, well, you imagine with 3 callers, Mo's definitely going to stay in there. Now he's got the implied odds to play.
It's only 150 more. He limped in there, one off the cutoff, and he makes the call. So here we go. We're going to see an $800 pot, 4 ways. Trish, the pre-flop raiser.
Oh, there's a king.
Wow, ace-king 4, and you wonder if Jay is going to get into trouble here.
And let's see how this plays
Well,
out.
Mo is actually going to bet 300, and Trish just calls.
Well, it checks around to Mo. Mo bets 300 to see where he's
And
at.
Trish just calls, and this might get Jay in trouble. Maybe he thinks his hand is good right now, unless maybe, you know, Trish is slow playing a monster, which she is.
Well, it's not a scary board for her, and that's one of the reasons why she's slow playing it.
And he's going to make the call. Wow. And now the pot is about 1,700. The turn is a queen.
Well, it's getting worse and worse for Jay here. I mean, he
Yeah.
now has a gut shot straight draw. If he catches a 10, he can win the hand.
Gets checked over to Trish. It's an $1,800 pot, and she's going to lead for 900. She's going to bet half the pot. Again, if you look in your J here, you got to know you probably beat. I mean,
Well, by one of those players.
Oh,
sure.
yeah. I mean, ace-jack here, unless you just want to gamble it up and try to catch a 10.
Well, that's the question now. The pot is now 2,700. It's 900 to call. You're getting 3-1 plus implied odds. Is it worth it if you hit the 10? But are there any implied odds if you hit your 10?
It's pretty obvious.
Yeah.
Try to make hidden hands and no one knows.
Exactly.
You know? You can see the percentages there.
Obviously, Trish, an overwhelming favorite here.
Mo has 2 outs and Jay has 4 outs to the win. And Jay does make the call. And Mo folds, and the pot now is about 3,600. Jay needs a 10, and the river's a deuce. And now, if you're Trish, you got to value bet the river, right?
Oh, definitely.
And she's going to move in for the rest of her money.
I don't think she has much more.
Yeah.
$1,000.
Like it's $1,000 into a $3,600 pot.
Yeah, exactly.
And now, again, the pot's 4,600. You know, mistake begets mistake here. Jay really can't beat anything right now.
No, he can't.
It's actually only $800.
Yeah, it just doesn't make any sense. Think about it. She called Mo's bet, and then she bet the turn. You know, what can she call with and then bet? You know, there's no real draw out there.
Yeah. And we know that Trish, you know, she doesn't usually mix it up all that much. She's pretty straightforward.
Well, I mean, you start thinking of some draws. You go, well, if she called it, remember, she raised pre-flop.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, it's an $800 bet, Dave, into a $4,400 pot. I mean, Jay is getting about 5.5, 6 to 1.
I mean, is there a chance that Trish has got 10s or jacks and she's trying to bluff enough an ace? I mean, is there 1 in 5 chance of that?
I guess that's what you really got to think. And he makes the call, Dave.
Yeah.
You know he's actually, Trish is going to take down over a $5,000 pot.
And I got to hand it to Jay, though. I mean, I want to tell you, I mean, obviously, he overplayed the ace-jack there, but over the past couple of months, I've been watching him play, and he's really been getting away from, at least what I saw, getting away from ace-queen and ace-jack. He actually laid down ace-king to me one day when the flop came out with a flop came out ace-high, and he got rid of that.
Am I allowed to mention this? No? Oh, okay, I will mention it. Button moves over here to seat 4.
I gotta say, I love the new.
Yeah, it seems
new
like it's a lot
fonts.
clearer.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah.
It really is. Especially the difference in the colors between the names and the cards.
We get a little raise here by seat number 2. It's going to make it 150 to go. And that's actually Trish, her, 4-5 of diamonds.
Yeah, that's why. That's why he changed it. He changed her play. He said Mike is teaching.
Now seat 5 is going to call, and seat 9 is going to call. So it's going to be about and Trish has raised 3 hands now in a row, Dave.
And this time she's got garbage.
Well, she's got 4-5 of diamonds, all spades. You know, she fires here. Oh, she could take it down because this flop has missed everybody.
She fires here, she takes it.
She's going to bet 300. You know what? I think that's going to be enough.
Well, nobody's got anything. I mean, not even a draw.
300 into about a $500 pot, and she takes it down.
Yeah.
Wow.
Trish is on fire. Look at this. Now, I really want to talk about going to the bathroom. Okay. I want to make this a topic of conversation tonight.
Please, let's not. Yeah. The button was moved over here to seat 5. Dave, I might have to call you Francois if you keep acting like this the rest of the night.
Oh.
Pocket 6. Trish is raised again. 4 times in a row. Pocket 6 is this time. She's made it 250 to go.
And the table is starting to notice this now.
Yeah. She's got pocket 6s, and she's going to take it down. Well, she's got pretty tight players in the blind from that spot. Kirk and Kenny Wynn, the 2 tightest players, are on the table.
And what was I thinking when I said she was the opposite of Mike? I mean, she's playing more like Mike than Mike's playing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go all in. This time I'm gonna get pets. I'm gonna go.
Someone emailed us here, Dave.
Alan.
Trish Christian
Don't
Grimshay
like me now.
asking us any comment on the Z Justin etc. controversy. I think that Z Justin is, and call me naive, I'm not really all that into the internet player gossip, but I think he's a famous professional internet player, and I don't know what the controversy is. So someone will have to fill us in. And Trish is raised again. She's got ace-queen suited this time in seat 2.
Well, I mean, she's now raised 6 hands in a row. 5 of the 6 were actually legit raises. Only one time she raised with 4 or 5 of diamonds.
She's going to take it down. This is unbelievable.
I thought you guys wanted to play.
And Trish is running the table over.
Yeah. Yeah, you mentioned before, Dave, George Georgie had been running bad the last few months. He went to a voodoo doctor to get the spells or get himself away from the bad beats that he had been getting.
Yeah, I think
he also put a spell on Mike and on Barry Woods.
There you go. Yeah, I think they bathed them in like live chicken juice or something like that. Whoa, Trish folded. Here it is.
Yeah. And so did Mike. Now Jay's got a king, 7-8 offsuit. He's going to make a limp in here. Jay will play many, many hands pre-flop. Kirk mucks the king-jack offsuit here from seat 6. Allen's going to complete in the small blind with queen 3, and Mo gets a free ride with big lick in the big blind. Here we go. Ace 8-4 with a couple hearts. Jay's got middle pair. Let's see if he fires out a little bit. He does. He's going to bet the pot. He bets 150. Snazzy font. Snazzy percentages.
Snazzy.
Dave, you're going with a new look today, huh? A little goatee.
Yeah, you know, my wife was giving me grief about the beard, and
Scratched her up a little bit.
yeah, so I kind of I compromised.
Yeah.
And shaved half of it off.
Yeah.
Yeah, just an hour.
You ever get that complaint sometimes you're kissing a girl, or in this case, your wife?
Of
Like
course.
if you haven't shaved, it's like, oh, it's like an SOS pad.
Of course,
Yeah.
ask any girl.
Yeah.
I'll give it later.
In fact, we've got the lovely Nicole in our production room right now. Let's ask her.
Let's ask her.
Nicole, sure, what do you
I
think
haven't
about...
shaved. Well, I shaved this morning, so it wouldn't apply.
Yeah, Nicole, what do you think about kissing a guy with stubble? Isn't it like, doesn't that hurt?
Yes.
There you go.
Sometimes.
Sometimes she says it, okay. Sometimes it's okay. Depends on the guy, I guess. Okay.
Now he'll start.
But
There
moves over
you
here
go,
to
she
Mo.
says. Well, thank you, Nicole.
Butt moves over here to Mo and seat while we get a live straddle here by Mike.
Man, I tell you, what a night. We've got 25-50 no limit hold'em, and we've got Nicole.
Absolutely. Well, this hand's going to be $100 to call because Mike has straddled here.
How can it get any better?
He is going to have the option when it comes back around to him. Now, Jay's got pocket nines. He's limped in under the gun here. Georgie's got an ace-queen in the small blind, actually in the big blind, and he's just going to complete. Now, interesting, with a limper in there and all that dead money, a lot of people might raise out of the blind with ace-queen, but he does not. And Mike taps the table here, and Jay's got the best hand, 10-4-4 here.
It's a nice flop for Jay. The problem is you got a lot of blind money in there, and very easy for one of these players to have a 4 or a 10.
Well, Mike, he plays it like... Usually, almost plays like a tournament, trying to work off of other people's hands. He's going to bet out because he doesn't think that this flop hit anybody. But Jay makes the call. It's a $250 bet and a call. Pot's now at $800. The turn is a 9, and Jay fills up.
Yeah, and Mike is drawing dead.
And if Mike had a 4 here, it would be great for Jay. Mike checks, and Jay's going to bet. He's going to bet 400 here.
And Mike took one shot at it, but he's not going to be crazy. You think he's going to throw this away? He does. And let's say, nothing more aggravating than hitting a monster and not getting paid off.
Yeah. I was playing 5-10 pretty much all afternoon with Jay. And he is action. The funny thing about Jay, though, is that he likes to gamble, but I think he's aware, for sure. Sometimes he's more aware than some of the other players that play in this game consistently of what his hand value is. He's aware that he might be up against aces, but he might call in, for $3,000 with Jack 10 to give that guy a bad beat. He's not concerned about the money.
Well, that's the thing. Jay is a very, very smart guy. He knows what he's doing.
Right.
Sometimes he just puts his money in there, and he'll actively say, he's sometimes moved in on me, knowing I would call, saying, I want to gamble with you, Dave.
Right.
Get an email here from David Gladstone saying, hey, Bart, don't worry about being called douchebag. It's actually me. I was the one being called a douchebag.
Got a raise here to 275 out of seat 8. He's got ace 5. This guy's opened it up a little bit here tonight, dude.
Sean?
He raised it up with pocket 4s before. And Corporation Mike is going to make the call with ace 4 of hearts. And let's see if Jay comes in with deuce 5 here. It's 270. No, he's not.
Well, rarely do you have ace 5 and you're in a good position, but Sean is.
Yeah. Pot's about $600 as we go heads up here. Sean, the pre-flop raiser.
Wow.
Oh, wow. Trip 5s for Sean and a gut shot, straight flush wheel draw for Mike.
How lucky is Jay that he didn't enter this pot? Remember, Jay had deuce
Wow,
5.
deuce 5. Look at this. A bet here by Sean. He bets right into the trips, and Mike makes a check raise. How do you blame him? He's got a super draw.
Yeah.
He's going to make it 500 more here on the flop.
Well, you know what? I think Mike is correctly putting, he thinks Sean must have an overpair.
Right.
Right? And the way Sean has played this hand, you can't put him on ace 5.
Or maybe, maybe high cards and maybe just trying to get him off of it right now. And Sean's going to come back, and he is going to re-raise. There's no slow playing here. He's got ace 5. He's going to re-raise.
You know what? And I think, and I like it.
And look at this. And Mike immediately moves all in. And if you're Sean now, you probably think you're up against a weaker 5.
You have a 60-40 favorite right now, unless you got ace.
Actually, he's wrong. He's actually a 60-40 underdog.
Yep. And let's see if they make a deal here. This pot is going to be somewhere around $8,000. Mike only had about $4,000 to start the hand.
You know, the interesting thing is, and I think they're going to run it,
So let's.
and let's see how many times they run it here. The interesting thing is, Mike really put Sean, he goes, I think you've got kings or queens, and unless you have aces,
Right.
I'm in a great spot here because I can catch a deuce, I can catch hearts.
How many times they run it? The turn's a 4. Gives Mike more outs, and the river is an ace. That's no good. Turn is a 7. Mike needs a heart here or a deuce. And look at this. He makes a straight flush the second time, and they only run it twice. So all that for nothing. They're going to chop the entire pot up right there.
Let's see what happens.
Wow. Straight flush there on the river.
Now, the interesting thing is now, if Mike is right, and I mean, the way Sean played the hand, you almost put Sean on kings or queens or maybe even aces.
Right.
But the way he played it, the first time, Mike actually catches the ace. The second time, he catches a straight flush.
Right.
So he would have won both times.
And he was aware. I mean, he's actually not quite 60-40 if the guy's up against kings without the king of hearts. It's more like 55-45, I think,
I'm
with the
trying to think.
redraws and such.
Well, he's got 9 hearts,
9 hearts outs, 3 of the
3
remaining
deuces, and 3 aces.
Right, so it's about 15 outs. Again, that's not quite 60-40 with the
Right.
redraws.
It's more like you said, 55-45.
Because again, the king of hearts is not an out for him. If
Exactly.
if one of those cards comes.
100%.
Right.
But I like the play by both players.
Yeah.
A hand like that with Mike, if you flop something like that, that's big enough hand to push.
We got a post here by Russ McGlinley saying, now that they have all this technology, I think it's time to get some high-def cameras. We have it, right?
I
The
think we do.
handhelds.
I think we actually do have high def cameras. Yeah,
Yeah, we
You're
got
right.
high-def cameras. The button moves over.
Clark
there.
gets very excited about high def cameras, folks.
Yeah.
Really does.
We get a raise here to 250 by Mo. He's got pocket jacks. Now Jay's got a suited connector in seat 5, 7, 8 of hearts.
Now, how much money does Jay have, though? That's the problem.
Jay didn't call.
Okay, he's going. There you go.
We are streaming in high def. I just got confirmation on that. Oh, maybe not. Yeah, but the cameras are high def, right?
Right. The cameras are high def. The problem is, though, the technology for streaming technology is not available for high def yet.
Right. I see. You mean the band? It would take too much bandwidth
Exactly.
out to send that signal out.
Exactly. It's just not there. I mean, you could go out and buy yourself a $20,000 computer, and we could buy the nicest cameras in the entire world, and it's not going to make a difference.
A lot of people, yeah.
Oh, yeah, it would. Run only one.
And I'm getting word that Garo said it would actually take 12 times more bandwidth for the same exact presentation with the same amount of people watching. We
Queen
want to do high def.
7-4 here, all diamonds. It was limped around here.
You know what I mean?
Seat number 8 is going to bet 75 here as a bluff. He's got ace high. 3 diamonds out there. Kind of tough for anybody to call.
Well, how can anybody? Oh,
Well, we got a caller by Jay. Pocket 3s with the 3 of diamonds.
well, he's in great shape.
He's great shape now. Turn is a deuce of spades.
Hard for him to know that, but
And he
hey,
goes check, check, and the river's a 7, and Jay is good.
yeah,
See if Sean, and now Jay's going to throw a little blocker bet out here.
yeah.
Maybe represent a 7 there. Maybe get the guy off of a weak queen, or maybe possibly a 4.
4, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. How about a week 4?
And look at this. Sean makes the call with ace high.
Wow.
He called them with ace 10. And pocket 3s are going to be good there.
Well, hey,
Wow.
forget about blocker bet. How about a value bet by Jay with pocket 3s there?
Yeah, I've seen Sean play in the 60 mix game. Is he playing in Yoshi's game as well?
I don't know.
Because he definitely looks like a familiar face.
Can we just have a question? Yeah, maybe 5 minutes?
And again, this is going to be a collection pot. In the big game here, Dave, we don't take a rake. We take a collection every half an hour. And it's the person that wins the collection pot pays, I think it's $12 per person for half an hour, whoever wins this pot. And the pot has to be over, I think, was it $500?
I think it's actually over $350. We'll find that exactly right now.
Buttons over there in seat 5. We got a good mix of action here tonight with Jay and Mike on the.
Oh yeah, this game should be really, really exciting all night long.
Collection pot has to be 600 or more. We're getting worried. George has raised it up here to 175 with ace 5 suited. Jay has made the call with ace 7, and Allen's in there with ace 9. So
Haven't heard much from Allen tonight.
I wonder if an ace is going to flop here. We get a $550 pot going 3 ways. George is the pre-flop raiser here in seat 3.
Wow, look at
Wow,
this.
look at this. The case ace comes off. Chances are this is going to be a chop between everyone. If an overcard comes to the 9 here on the turn or on the river, and we get to showdown.
Yeah.
And George is going to bet here 400. Jay makes the call, and you know Allen's probably not going to go anywhere.
Now
He
those
makes the call.
percentages are the percentages of winning the hand.
Yeah.
Obviously, the rest of it is a tie.
$1,800 pot, and the turn here is a 9, and now Allen has 2 higher pair. He's got aces and 9s. He gets checked around, and the river's a queen, and this is a perfect spot for Allen to put out a bet because he can beat any ace. He can beat ace king. He can beat ace anything else here.
Well, anything but ace queen, obviously.
He throws out, it looks like maybe an $800 bet here, and George folds. Now let's see if Jay makes the call, hoping to chop the pot. He can't beat a deuce. It's an $800 pot into about an $1,800, so it's $2,600 pot, $800 to call, and Jay makes the call, and Allen's going to take down over $3,000 there with aces and 9s.
Take it down, Allen. Now, you got to remember there's no draw on the flop. So when there's a bet on the flop and people call, you got to go, okay, this guy's probably either got an ace or a deuce.
Yeah.
And when Allen bets the river, Allen will bluff at the river if he misses his draw, but once again, there is no draw out there.
Yeah.
So Allen is betting the river there. I got to put him on an ace or a deuce. Obviously, if he has an ace, I'm only going to chop it. If he has a deuce, I'm going to lose. Case like that, I rarely want to put money in the pot when all I'm really is hoping to chop it up.
Just to give you a little fill in there, and I'd seen this on 2+2. Apparently, this guy, Z. Justin, kind of a respected guy as an internet pro, was caught playing on multiple accounts, on multiple tournaments, or in the multiple tournaments on the same table, and Party Poker confiscated over $100,000 on his money. So pretty big deal there.
Wow.
So that's what you go to say if you trust on online poker. Yeah.
And they're saying that he was playing like 6 different accounts in the same tournament and 6 different accounts in the same sit and go.
Yeah.
Wow. And they confiscated $100,000. Well, you know what I mean? Obviously, I wonder what they'll do with the $100,000. Are they going to try to find out who he took the money from, basically, and try to, or is Party Poker just going to pocket it?
Button moves over here to Kirk. We have not seen it play a hand here. Seat 6. He's got ace 8 suited. Let's see if he limps in if it's an unraised. Well, Mike is going to raise it up here. He's got ace 10 suited. He's going to make it 150 to go. Kind of a tame raise.
Wow.
Jay has ace 8 suited here. We're going to chip count in here soon enough, I think. Jay's going to make the call.
That is crazy.
And George has made the call. And actually, Mike raised it with 10-6. Excuse me. George has ace-10.
Yeah, George had limped in with ace-10.
Yep.
Mike raises with 10-6.
So the pot now is going to be $500. 3 ways. Mike's the pre-flop raiser.
Now, Kirk also had ace-8 suited, ace-8 of hearts, right?
Here we go to the flop.
Well, good flop for George.
Queen 4 deuce. George has got the nut spade draw.
He actually has the best hand right now, obviously, with ace-10 high also.
And he's going to bet 400 right into it as the semi-block.
Yeah, and look at the respect George gets at the table. George doesn't play that many hands, and when he puts money in the pot, he's usually got something.
He's going to take it down there.
Once again, we're live at the bike, folks. I'm David Tuckman here with Bart Hansen. And we are watching No Limit Hold'em. Blinds are 25 and 50. Action-packed game tonight. A lot of money.
Again, if people want to take a look and read on our website, livethebike.com, about running the cards more than once, you can go over to the left-hand side of your screen and click under.
It's actually the As Seen on Live at the Bike.
There you go.
Banner.
As seen on Live at the Bike. Pocket 10's in here from Mo. He's going to raise. And
Uh-oh.
And Mike's got jacks, and he just makes a smooth call here.
Wow, let's see what happens here.
So Mo's brought this one in for 10s in seat 1, and Mike's got jacks.
10s can be hard to play out of position, but Mo's a pro. He knows how to do it.
Yep.
Allen calls the raise to a 10-6 suited here.
Three-way action here. Here we go to the flop. Well, Queen, Queen 4, not a bad flop for either player here.
No, not at all. But it's hard to know where you're at, though, if you're Mo or Mike, because did Mo raise here with kings or aces, possibly?
Now, Mo is bet 200. Well, Mike's going to find out. He's going to raise him 300.
And now, this is interesting. Allen's
got diamonds behind him, yeah.
Because you want to get involved with a paired board, and he does not.
He folds it. And Mo comes over the top all in. He does not buy it. And if you're Mike here, Mike has trouble laying down hands. We talked about it at the leak in his game. Mo has really represented something big. Mike cannot beat kings, aces, or any queen here.
Right.
And it's a real tough spot here. You wonder, Mo probably thinks he has the best hand here. Because, would it be tough for Mike?
Mike calls.
And Mike makes the call here, and he's in great shape.
Yeah, he's in really good shape.
And this pot's about $6,000. The turn's a deuce.
Mo needs a 10 and only a 10.
And the river's a king, and Mike's going to take it down there with the queens and jacks.
Now, I'm going to point this out to you. I was about to interrupt you, but I didn't want to. Mo has a propensity to gamble a little bit more when he's short stacked.
Right.
And in this game, he only had about, I want to say, maybe 2,000 left.
Yeah, he only had 2,500 in front of him.
Which is, I think, one part of the reason why why Mo did that, and I think it's part of the reason why Mike called that.
Yeah, it's just not really, he's really not that deep. He's only 60 big blinds deep, right?
Exactly.
Really
I think if Mo has more money, I think the hand is played much differently.
Yeah. Well, now the question is, how much is Mo going to buy in for now?
Yeah. And it's tough, 10s are tough to play out of position. Is your opponent calling you with ace king? Is your opponent calling you with ace queen? Or is your opponent smooth calling you with jacks, queens, or kings? You never know.
Button moves over here to seat number 8. And Mike is going to raise it up here to 150. And it's going to be fun to see this because now Mike has some chips. And again, we'll get a chip count in here soon enough. But looks like he's got, I don't know, maybe at least 5,000 in front of him, right, Dave? Now, Mike makes the raise to 150 with king 7. Jay calls with ace 4 suited in seat 5. The rest of the table folds around. Again, we have not seen Kirk or Kenny win in seat 6 and seat 7, respectively, play hand all night so far.
The one thing we always point out, though, you don't have to play a lot of hands to be successful in No Limit Hold'em. And Mo buys into the minimum here. He only has 3,000 in front of him.
Well, Mo's really been running well in this game since we've been spreading it the last couple months.
Yeah, he's going to play small stack poker, though, and see if he can double up
now
or triple up.
Trish does not play pocket 5s. That's interesting.
Wow.
And the flop comes queen 8, 9. It goes check, check. The turn's a queen. And Jay now has the nut flush draw. Mike now bets 500, and Jay has the best hand. And Jay is all in for 375 here. And look at Jay's in great shape.
Yeah.
He is in great shape. He was on the short
Mike
stack.
needs a king or a 7. That's not a heart.
Oh, the river's a king.
Wow.
Brutal.
That's the only card I don't need.
Yep, that is.
Oh, man. And obviously the 7 of diamonds or the 7 of spades would have been okay as well. And the king of clubs.
And Mike continues to kill this game.
Yeah, he only had, he had 5 outs. That's it. And he catches one of them.
Earlier on here tonight, earlier this afternoon, Bangor Tove, who's
Baron Bangor
Tove, PM'd me a little article.
Oh, really? Cool.
One that he writes for that website. I can't remember it off the top of my head. But he was telling me a story about how a guy learned poker by playing at Live at the Bike. And Baron was in a hand with that guy. And Barron came out and bet on a paired board, and that guy raised, and he knew that guy had trips because we talked about fast lay hands. So there you go.
That's great.
Yeah. I didn't really get a chance. Came into the studio late, so I didn't get a chance to read the whole article.
That's classic.
Mike is going to raise it up here with 10-3 of diamonds. He is on fire.
The old
here.
reverse tell because Barron knew the guy watched us.
Right.
That's great.
Absolutely.
Oh, man. The guy with trips he's probably bitching about us now then.
Right.
These guys told me to just raise right away.
Right.
Sometimes you got to play how the person sees you. You know. I know you didn't see me as a strong hand as Jackson.
Wow, interesting there from Mike.
Yeah, real interesting what he said there.
That's what I'm saying. But you did not bear that big.
Well, here we go with the chip count. This is what the players are at now. We've got over 30,000 on the table. And Kirk, is Kirk really only at 600? That can't be right.
No, that was actually Jay.
Oh, that was Jay. Oh, yeah, I see. So seat 6 is actually not up there right now. Kirk actually has 3,000. Okay.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
keep a mental note of that. And here we
And
go.
Jay's gotten up.
Yeah, we'll see what the differences are. Mo down, about 3,000.
Oh, he lost his first buy-in.
Mike is up 3,500. Look at Trish. She's up 3,000.
Oh, she doubled up with that ace-king.
Wow, we got an interesting hand here. Ace-king, ace-queen, and pocket sevens. Trish has got ace-king. Mike's got ace-queen. Oh, and the flop comes with an ace. Now, who's the pre-flop raiser here? Trish is going to come out and bet, and Mike is going to call. So Trish bets 400, and Mike makes the call. I think the pot is about 2,000. The turn's a deuce.
And Mike's in bad shape here.
Yeah,
He's a
Trish is
queen
going to
and
bet
only queen.
again.
Now, this is one of those things with Mike, though.
gonna
Mike
make the
can
call.
only beat an ace-jack here, though,
Yeah.
right? It's all you can beat.
And they might, their mother and son, they might check it down the river, but you know what, Trish? Yeah, I think they did because they're mother and son. But if you've got ace-king there and you're playing, sometimes we see this in a cash game, Trish is going to take down about another $3,000.
Yeah.
You make a value bet with ace-king there, don't you, against a guy that you think is calling with a weaker ace?
I think so.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. I don't think that Mike and Trish bet the river against each other. Although they do play hands pretty hard. They're mother and son. Let's
But
give
you know,
them a
what's
break.
great about the way they play, though, is they protect their own hand, though.
Absolutely.
They're not going to give
Yeah.
even though he came from her womb, she is not going to give him a free card to beat him. I'm sorry. That's great poker, you know? And this is like biological day at Live at the Bike. It's great. I love it. No, but seriously though, you cannot. We see it all the time where somebody soft plays somebody, and you go, well, and you give your opponent a free card, and they beat you.
Yeah.
That's one thing to check the river. Everything's done by then, you know.
Button moves over here to Trish at seat number 2.
Trish is on fire. Look at that.
Yeah.
So Trish is probably up close to 4,500 now, huh?
And Mike, he's got pocket nines in the big blinds, and I think it was actually a misdeal here.
Oh,
He
there you
wasn't
go.
pleased about that. So we're going to do that one over. That's a do-over, Dave.
All right, at the same time with
So I can't believe this news about this guy, this internet guy, who had supposedly 6 to 10 accounts.
Yeah, I'd heard about some speaking about over in multi-table tournaments over that forum, but I hadn't read anything about it. But
Does this
I will-
happen often?
Well, now you got to think: is this opening up? All those huge time successful pros, it got to make you wonder, right?
Well, the
Apparently,
only,
it's happened before as well.
the only thing that I'm wondering about is if you're only catching 1 or 2 of them, well, how many more people out there not being caught?
Right.
Makes me really happy about playing on LAPokerScene.com actually, because there I can risk only a nickel to get into a $15,000 World Series of Poker tournament.
We got a raise here by Trish, Queen 10 off suit. And Mike and George have called, I believe, King Jack suited and 3-5 of clubs. Wow, George flopped the flush draw. Mike is going to come out and bet here. Maybe he was the pre-flop raiser. I couldn't quite tell. But Trish has got top pair.
Yeah,
And Trish looks like she is going to raise.
it's a
She's
good
going
raise
to make
there.
it 400 more
Well, she
with
can't-
the queen.
She doesn't give Mike credit for anything here.
And she actually drives George with a dry flush draw out of the hands.
Yeah, and I like the lay down by
She's gonna
George.
take it down. Yeah.
Dry flush draw is not really worth chasing, especially in a no-limit game. You got to realize that. Okay, if you
Out
don't
of
catch
position,
on it,
bet in a raise, you're only going to see one card.
exactly. And if you call and Mike calls behind you,
Yeah.
well, your flush draw might not even be good.
Yeah. Naked
Flush draws are rarely something you want to go for in no-limit hold'em. sometimes you want to go for it, obviously, if you have a flush draw and a straight draw, or a flush draw and, say, a pair.
Right. The button is going to move over here to seat number 3. We have a seat open, it looks like. But we have word that a player is coming in. We got a raise here to 150 by Mo. 5-6 offsuit. And Mike is called here with deuce 4 hearts. So we see 2 garbage hands in here, Dave. Mike, the pre-flop raiser. We got a $300 pot going. Heads up, Mike against Mo. Oh, ace-7 queen. Now, Mo should bet here, and he probably is going to take it down, unless Mike really wants to mix it up.
Yeah, well, not really what you're looking for with deuce 4 of hearts.
Baron Banger Toth on 2+2 says. Mo shows the 6-5.
Well, Mo shows what he thought was a bluff.
Right.
But he actually had Mike dominated there.
Baron Banger Toth says. And Mike savagely outplays Mo. If this keeps going, I'm going to have to start giving Bart odds on our prop bet. That's never going to happen due to his mean producer.
Ooh.
She didn't
Mean.
give me though. Evelyn's actually doing the cards here too.
You know, it was really interesting what Mike said, actually, after that hand. And he was talking about calling Mo down. And he said, you know, one of the reasons I can call is because I know how you see me.
Yeah.
And that's really important when you get down to a table is not necessarily what your image is, but how the other players at the table see you.
We had a little raise here by seat number 8, 175. And we did not see a flop there. Tip it down. Now, for example, here, Mike is on the phone, Dave. He is taking a call because of work. I mean, a lot of people keep emailing us, and we see Mike on the BlackBerry, we see him on the phone. But it's because he actually has a business here in the casino.
Right.
And we are on a 5-minute delay to protect the integrity of the game. And we try not, we do not allow players with electronic equipment to play at the table. Well, here we go. Ace-King here for Kirk.
Well, Mike's really good about getting up from the table, too.
Well, George is going to raise it up here with ace-9 suited. He's makes it 175. Let's see how Kirk is going to play the ace-king here. He's on the button in c5. We haven't seen him play a hand yet. He's going to re-raise it, Dave.
Yeah.
You know, with his image, I like that play.
Oh, definitely. On the button, ace-king, why not? Now, you got to be a little cautious, obviously, because George was the original raiser.
Right.
But he raised 2 off the button. I mean, he could be raising with a lot of hands there.
And Mike said, this is your first hand in 40 minutes, right? Yeah.
And you got to give Mike credit. I mean, he really does pay attention.
Yeah.
And you're almost pot committed. You represent me?
Yeah, I think Kirk is bought in pretty small here, too. 3,000.
Maybe I should do
And George folds it for him.
Yeah.
Man.
Well, here's a little information here. Z Justin was playing 2 accounts in the same $750,000 guaranteed tournament on Party Poker, which I think went on this Sunday.
Okay.
This past Sunday. He won first place, close to $200,000, and then he bragged about it. Party banned him and bumped everyone else up 1 spot in the tournament.
Okay.
You know the funniest thing about that too is that sometimes they don't necessarily even get caught because someone's caught them technically. It's just because of their big mouths, bragging on the internet forums that they're playing multiple accounts.
Well, it's kind of like, you ever see Goodfellas?
Yeah.
Remember the guy, the Italian guy that comes in like with the, the fur coat and the Ferrari and stuff, and they just kind of like look at him like, "What are you doing, man?"
Yeah. Button's over here in Kenny Wynn's hand. We're gonna see it limped around 5 ways.
And I checked this stuff right away when I
$250 pot here.
put it in the camera. So what's it in the rest?
973. Couple clubs. Looks like George has got the best hand. We have the King 9.
That is 300.
And he's going to come out and bet 300 here. About the size of a pot. I don't think anyone's going to get involved here, Dave. I'm sure Kenny Wynn is going to pay attention, play the player. He's going to easily pull back in. Sean's got bottom pair here. And Al's not going to get involved.
I thought I had 6 8. Look down, I had 5.
Didn't we just see George wear that shirt the last time he was on the show?
Well, he won. He won, so...
He won, so he's wearing the same shirt again.
What, you expect him to change shirts? Thank you for the emails. Keep them coming, folks. If you have any questions or concerns for us, please send them to live@thebike.com.
And also, you can follow that thread that started on the internet. Go to 2plus2.com, spelled out. Under tournament poker, or under forums, World Poker Tour, etc. Official Live the Bike thread. We're already in March 1st.
March 1st, can you believe it? And actually, tonight is the inaugural event of our Winning of the Green tournament. Tomorrow night's tournament starts at 4:15 p.m. and there's a $50,000 guaranteed no limit hold'em tournament. Come on down. If you want to reserve your spot, you can go to thebike.com.
Limped around here. Four-way action, $200 pot. 9-4-7 on the flop. Alan's he's open-ended here to the 8 and the 3. Checked around, top pair pairs, and it looks like pocket deuces still in the hand. And now seat number 2, Trish is going to bet out with ace-10, and Kirk, even though he had the best hand, was not a favorite. With one card to come against 2 players, pocket deuces. Of course, because of the counterfeiting possibilities, Alan had a straight draw with overcards, and Trish had 2 overcards. Right.
He wasn't a favorite against both of them. Now, individually against either one of them, he would have been a favorite.
But interesting with one card to come. It's pretty rare, right?
Yeah.
See that. Live straddle here by Mike. Looks like Mo has gotten up from the table.
Taking a little break. Button is in seat 9, by the way. Small blind is Trish, big blind is George, and Mike is live straddle.
Seat 5 is going to raise it up here to 250. That's Kirk. He's got ace-king. Oh, boy, and Mike is in there with ace-deuce. This is, again, kind of part of Mike's game. Now, if he thinks he can outplay Kirk from up front, then fine. But if he flops an ace, is he going to get involved all the way down?
I don't think he is at all. I completely disagree with you about Mike's game. I got to be honest with you.
Well, let's see.
I don't think Mike loses any money on this hand. I mean, maybe like 400 or 500, but no significant money.
He checks. Kirk's going to bet 600, and Mike calls. Well, there's one call. Here we go to the turn.
Unless he catches a spade here, I imagine he's going to fold it.
Turns an 8. He checks again. And Kirk looks like he's going to bet again. He bets 800 here.
Oh, Mike, don't make me look stupid here.
Third club.
I mean, unless Mike is trying to outplay him and try to represent clubs here. But I don't think he's calling with ace, deuce, or spades to hit an ace. I mean, I just don't think that's what he's doing here. He's not stupid. Ah, well.
Well, he makes the call again, Tuckman, and here we go to the river.
Come on, Mike.
River's a 7. He checks. Oh, Kirk, actually it was a 4th club there. And Kirk is going to take it down there with the ace-king. Well, that's a stinger. I was going to say, you wonder if Kirk value bets there. Well, like I said at the beginning of the hand.
You know, the interesting thing is I was going to say I don't mind Mike calling with ace, deuce, or spades against a player like Kirk. Because I think Mike can outplay him if an ace doesn't hit. I also think Mike is good enough to get away from a weak ace. But unfortunately, Mike actually called 600 and then 800.
Right.
You know, I paid him off to the tune of $1,400 with ace deuce.
Again, I just think that it's one kind of minor leak in Mike's game, and
that's a huge leak.
Yeah, well, but we've seen it. We've seen him improve in his game, and you think that over the next few months that maybe once he kind of fixes that up, he'll be a real force, right?
I really think he's a real. I mean, short of Mo, if I had to give somebody $3,000 to play in this game, I'd give it to Mike. Maybe can he win? In seat 7.
Alan's going to limp in here with ace
9. I'm a real big fan of Mike's game. I mean, I think he overplayed ace deuce there. I think he knows it too.
Trish is going to raise it here on the button. She's going to make it a little, pump it up to 150 with jack 10 offsuit on the button. She's not going to drive anybody out, it does not look like.
No, but she's got position now, and if everybody else misses, she can represent. And look at this.
Wow, Mo's in there with king 6 of clubs.
You got 2 ace 9s, you got 4 clubs. I mean, she's actually in pretty good shape.
$600 pot here, ace, deuce 5, all spades. Now, Mike and Alan both have the same hand, but Alan's got the 9 of spades in his hand.
Now, this is a perfect example. If Mike and Alan are left in the hand here, Alan is on a free roll, right?
Yep. Mike is going to come out and bet 500 here. And Allen just folds. He's going to just fold there. Not a bad fold at all. You know, it's interesting. I've seen Allen change his game up a little bit over the last couple of weeks, too.
Wow.
You know, Trish has got the 10 of spades in her hand, but I don't think she's going to get involved. You know, I was playing in a 5-10 game with Allen, Dave.
Yeah.
One time, he had queen 10, and the flop came out king, ace, jack. And it got checked to him, and he bet the flop into 6 players. Another time, I had king jack in the blind, and the flop came out king deuce 3. I checked it. Allen bet in late position, in the latest position on the button. I check raised him on the flop.
And he threw the hand away?
He made the call, and I bet the turn, and he threw king queen away. He showed me king queen face up.
Wow.
And I was like, wow.
Wow. Hey.
Yeah, you know, it was.
Hand cool.
Yeah.
Allen's been actually running really well lately.
Well, this one's going to get limped into the blinds here. And look at this. Kirk has got ace-10. He did not raise in the big blind. Heads up against Mike.
Well, they both got a little bit of piece of it there. Kirk with top pair, Mike with bottom pair.
Mike's going to bet 75. Now, if you're heads up on the blind here, we're talking about blind play, would you raise with that hand in position with ace-10?
You might not, though. You might want to conceal the strength of your hand. Remember, it's already heads up.
And Kirk, again, he plays it really straightforward. He's going to make the mini raise up to 150 here.
I mean, there's different ways to play the hands.
And Mike is going to make the call here with bottom pair. Backdoor hearts. You can catch an 8 or 3 to improve his hand. Turns is 7.
That's no good now.
I wonder if Kirk might keep this pot a little bit small, and he does. He checks the turn behind him, and the river here is a 5. Well, when Mike checks now, I think you might put a bet in here, but he's
Come on,
going to check
Kirk.
it down.
You gotta throw a little value bet in there.
Well, at least on the river, right, when it checks you twice. That's the way Mike checks
I actually
that.
bet the turn also. You can't constantly be scared. Oh, the board
Yeah,
paired.
you can't be scared that you're always going to be check raised by 7 there. Right.
I mean, that's the danger. That's why Mike's game is so successful, because people know that he's aggressive. People know that he might check raise.
Right.
So he constantly gets free cards because of that.
Right. Button moves over here to seat number 4, Corporation Mike. You ever play Monopoly?
I've never played Monopoly.
Never?
Of course I've played Monopoly. I haven't played it in quite a while, though. But yeah, of course I played it.
We got a little raise here to 200 by Mike with queen 10 offsuit.
You got to play a hand sooner or later, man.
And they're talking to Kenny Wynn. They're trying to get Kenny Wynn to actually play a hand.
Right.
Come on, Kenny. You got to play a hand once in a while.
You know, the interesting thing about this Z Justin thing, and just
Okay,
again,
yeah,
I don't
go
know
ahead.
any of the details of it, but you know, there's been more and more talk supposedly, and now I guess there's a bill bouncing around committee about them actually trying to outlaw online gambling. If there was ever a scandal in online gambling, again though, could the American government do anything about it? Because not all these servers are offshore, or would it possibly gather more momentum for public opinion where they could get away with trying to legislate something like that?
You know, it's interesting. I mean, I personally think it's one of those laws like speeding. You know, it's really difficult to adjudicate a law like that.
Yeah. Limped around here.
I think public sentiment would take over anyway.
Right.
And wouldn't allow for it.
Right, but I'm saying if something like this comes up, you know, some people always think that the government is there to protect them.
Yeah.
I hate those people, by the way. Queen Jack Deuce here. It limped around.
And nobody's got anything here.
Yeah.
Mike's got the best hand with King High, and he's going to bet it. And Mike bets it, and he takes it down. I mean, Mike just picks up a lot of free money this way, folks. He just takes a lot of those pots. He kind of plays the Doyle Brunson school of poker here, where there are a lot of pots where nobody has anything. And he figures, hey, why not? I'll take that money.
Email here from Brandon Glass talking about a game in Northern California where it was a $100 restricted buying game, and the blinds were 2 in the small, 2 in the big, 1 on the button, and you could not limp. You had to call 4 because the rule was because that was the dead money that was in the pot. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me, but that's pretty restricted there.
Okay, yeah, I've seen a lot of times where they have blinds on the button. I'm not a big fan of the blind the button play because I already think there's an advantage for the player on the button already.
Yeah. George is limped in here with a Jack 10, and Mike is going to raise it up here with Ace 7. He's going to make it 250 to go.
I'd rather have 3 blinds being under the gun, you know, first, second, and third position. Make the button put their own money in there. All their money in there, honestly.
Mike's got ace rag, and again, we still have not seen Kenny Wynn play a hand here yet. And Mike is going to take it down.
So we got about 15 minutes and counting. No Kenny Wynn. Got the Kenny Wynn count here.
David Motza says, I love the new graphics. I can read the names now. You guys are awesome.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Putt moves over here to seat 8. Limp here. Pocket queens for Mo in the big blinds here. And the button's going to raise up to 300 here with 9-10 off suit. And actually, excuse me, it's Allen with queens, and Allen just is going to play it slow. He just calls, figuring, maybe George is going to fold behind him. And with George in there, I might make the same move from Allen with queens. Kind of slow playing this pre-flop. It's a $600 pot here. Here we go to the flop.
Bad flop for Allen, but let's see if he can. I kind of would have liked.
Mike's going to bet 400 here, and Allen makes the call. Either a bet on the flop or a check raise, maybe, Dave, by Allen?
Yeah, he's going to see where you're at now. What, he's going to check and call the whole way?
Well, he's going to go check here on the turn. The river's an 8.
Yeah, that doesn't change anything. Allen's going to take this down. And Allen puts out a little value bet, hoping the guy maybe calls him with 10s or 9s.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Why not, if you're going to slow play queens like that, throw a little bet on the flop or check raise, see where you're at. You just don't want to get in a spot where you're just calling down the entire way with queens.
Yeah, because again, it's just a situation where you're out of position, you have absolutely no idea.
Yeah, well, the guy raised on the button, he could have anything, but he could have a weak ace.
Yeah.
And if he's got a weak ace, hey, your queens are garbage.
Check call on the flop, huh?
Yeah, I need to figure out if he's got it or not.
About the river. Yeah, that's true.
Huh?
Putt moves over here to seat number 8.
After I check the turn, he didn't have it.
Or excuse me, seat 9, Allen there. And Trish is in the big blind. Again, I think we still have a seat open here in seat 6. Kenny Wynn over there, seat number 6. Has not played a hand all night. Continues to not play a hand. Now the cutoff here has got ace-7 off suit. He's going to bring it in for 150. Have we seen Sean before, Dave? No.
Well, you were saying that you saw maybe in a big mix game.
Right, but I'm saying on the show.
No, I don't think he's ever been on the show.
Maybe something smaller. I saw Isaac nodding his head. I'm not sure. You can see there the white chips are $100 chips. Purples are $25 chips. We're playing 25-50 no limit, unrestricted buy-in, 2,000 minimum. Mike is going to straddle here. It's a collection pot. It's going to be $100 to call.
We appreciate the emails. Keep them coming in, guys. We like to keep the show as interactive as possible. You can email us at live@thebike.com.
I think a couple of players are really taking the strategy in this game, like George and maybe Kirk, that they're going to buy in for the short stack, and even Kenny Wynn, and they're just going to wait with like a guy like Mike in the game. If Mike wasn't in this game, I think the game would have to change up.
The problem is Mike's not. It's not like Mike's going to just sit there and just double everybody up. You know what I mean? More often than not, Mike wins in this game.
George completes in the small blind, and Mike checks the straddle, or George in the big blind. Here we go, heads up. 10-3-3 here. George checks, and Mike checks right behind him. Turns a deuce. And it gets checked to Mike twice. And George here makes a check call with king high. And now you wonder if Mike's going to bet again on the river, knowing that he might have to bet to win. Oh, the river's a king. And Mike bets again. And George calls, and you know Mike is going to say, what did you call on the turn with?
You wanted it. Well, I cut George's bait like that, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, the only thing you wonder is now if George doesn't hit the king there and he checks, is he just going to check and fold?
Right.
You know? Oh, who knows? I mean, once the king comes out, I mean, if the king doesn't come on the river, does George bet and try to take it away? Who knows?
It was a third heart that came up there.
Yeah, maybe he represents the heart.
Yeah.
Or something else, who knows?
Button moves over here to seat 2 to Trish.
Once again, look for my new blog. You can go to liveatthebike.com and click on Under the Gun. It should be up by tomorrow. Maybe even tonight. Who
The
knows?
funny thing about online poker, David, as I play more and more live No Limit, and I think you kind of have this similar feeling, I play less and less online. I still probably play 5,000 to 10,000 hands a month. But I think that the competition is easier live, and I'm at the casino anyways. There's a lot of money to be made here live.
Maybe the competition's easier online because you're not playing against the same person in 4 spots. Like online.
Right. Mike is going to raise it up here. He's got 10-6
Makes it somewhat more
clubs.
difficult, doesn't it?
He's going to raise it 150 more, and Allen makes the call with ace-10. And Allen has Mike dominated here, and these two go at it again.
Yeah, they both miss, like most flops miss both players. And Mike's going to bet. Now what's Allen going to do? I mean, Allen's an overwhelming favorite, but how does he know that?
Mike bets 300 here. Allen folds.
Yeah. Now, the way Mike plays, generally speaking, he should really play to win these pots. And if he ever faces resistance from somebody, get rid of it unless he's got a monster.
That's why I think his style is great for tournament plays, too. A lot of the great tournament players play that way. And Mike is just so comfortable with this level because he has a lot of money from a job that he doesn't play poker with. The chips don't really mean anything. Just like in a tournament, when the chips don't really have a cash value, Dave.
Of course.
You're not playing them as they have a cash value.
I mean, the way Mike plays this game, though, I mean, he can really kill this cash game as well, and I think he does.
Yeah.
He's just got to know that, if a player like Kirk bets, raises, and then bets the flop and the turn, your ace deuce is no good. Throw it away. Part of the reason Mike doesn't mind playing these little, sometimes playing a little bigger pot is because he thinks that he can just kind of run the table over and make an easy $1,200 or $1,300 back.
How come you didn't do the rest? Oh, yeah, you got a deal.
Is this a dead hand? Is it any good?
Yeah, Miss Deal.
I mean, that's another misdeal here.
Call a raise with that? Here, okay. You go call a raise with that?
And we got a new dealer coming into the game, and George has got the button over there in seat 3.
From you depends on the price.
A lot of that going on lately. Yeah? Yeah. Absolutely. Oh, that looks pretty good, man. You always eat that healthy?
It's funny. I don't know why I continue to go over this. But we have a post here by No Idea discussing why is it if Mike has a cell phone and he needs to walk away from the table, that is not hurting the integrity of the game if he can just call and find out that Mo is, say, raising with garbage. Well, he can do that, but so can everyone else, and somebody can be watching the show and come and play in the game 5 minutes later, too.
Exactly.
9-8-3 here. Pocket 10s over there for seat 8 did not raise pre-flop.
I mean, in the end, all you can say is basically, let us worry about the integrity of the game. We got it covered.
Yeah. I mean, does it make any difference that you can call tonight or go and see the game tonight and come back and play tomorrow on the show? It doesn't really make that much difference. Yeah, and we know that there's not 2 corporation mics at the same table.
Whoa, hey, wait a second. What is Trish? You could argue there are 2 Trishes.
Yeah.
Well, at least genetically.
We got a raise here by Mo to 200. He's got king, queen suited. Now Mike's got ace 10 on the button. He's going to make the call. He says jacks.
Now you don't have a
Kirk is probably going to get rid of ace rag. Kenny Wynn has still not played a hand. And over there in seat 8, Sean's got an interesting queen jack of diamonds. Is he going to play with a raiser and a call?
So this is one of those hands, I don't mind playing it for a small raise, but I'm not looking for a queen, I'm not looking for a jack, I'm looking for a monster.
$600 pot, here we go. Ace 7 deuce. Mike's got top pair.
Yeah, Mike's in an overwhelming favorite here.
Well, Mo makes a continuation bet.
So now this is a different kind of play. Mike has a weak ace, but it's against Mo, though.
Well, Mike is calling and he's in position. So here we go to the turn. Turns a deuce.
And Mo is actually drawing dead.
Is Mo going to keep betting, though? Yeah, he's going to see if he can bet Mike off a weak ace. He bets again. He's going to bet 800 here.
Yeah, you can see the check mark there.
Wow, and Mike's going to call, and Mo might just give up here on the river, Dave. This pot is about $2,500, and the river's a king. And now that Mo's made something, he might check the river. And
Yeah.
he does. I was wondering if he totally whiffed, what would have happened on the river.
The problem is the flop was ace, 7, deuce, rainbow.
Right.
What do you think Mike's got? I mean, and I think the pot at that point was just too big. I mean, the pot is probably close to $3,000.
$2,500, $3,000. I think Mike only has maybe another $2,000 left.
Yeah, I don't think Mo had that much, did he?
Oh, that's right. Mo's kind of short as
Yeah,
well.
so kind of wonder. Actually, no, Mo was rebought. I apologize.
We'll
Mo has
get
got
shipped
close
out up
to,
there as soon as
yeah,
we can.
Mo looks like he's got probably close to $8,000 there.
That's my hand.
Me, personal opinion, I think I'm honest. Like maybe twice a day, so you are honest.
Ace queen offsuit here, seat 2.
Why is your hat? I'm being serious.
That's
You don't
Trish.
do up my money, but I do.
175.
And look at it, seat 5's going to raise it up here to 175. He's got pocket threes.
Wow.
Now,
Mixing it up.
Button, he's on the button, Dave. So now Alan's called with pocket 9s, and when everybody calls here, is he just going to play it to maybe try to hit a 4-card set? What I mean by that is if he doesn't hit a set on the flop, take a card if it gets checked to him.
That's definitely a way to play it. I mean, depending on the texture of the board. You know, that many callers, obviously, you know, it's actually not a bad spot raising for value on the button with a set with a 3.
5-way action here, $800 pot, ace 5-5.
That's my age.
Well, let's see if Kirk takes a card here.
Well, he's not going to have a chance to because Trish is going to bet.
Trish is going to bet 300 here, and I think Kirk can easily fold now.
Yeah, with all those players in there, obviously.
Now, can Alan easily get away from 9s, 1 overcard?
And I like the bet by Trish. She doesn't want to let a free card come off and kill her. She doesn't want to go for the check raise with that many players in there. She's
Wow,
gonna see
Alan
that
makes
right
the
away.
call, and that easily allows Mo to fold ace-deuce here.
Yeah.
And Alan needs a lot of help. Turns a jack.
And he needs a 9 and only a 9 here.
He checks, and now I imagine he's going to fold. Another overcard to the 9s. And he
Yeah.
knows.
And you got to look at who's betting also. It's
Yeah.
not, you know, it's Trish betting into the 5 people.
And Trish is on a tear. She's almost up.
Probably $6,000.
$5,000 or $6,000
Yeah.
tonight. Unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, you got to look. Sometimes you got to figure out. Go, okay, Mike might bluff into 1 or 2 people, but is Trish going to bluff into 5 people?
Yeah.
And there's a big difference between Mo and Mike's game, and I like both players' game, but I do like Mo's game a little bit better. You see how easily Mo gets rid of ace-deuce there. He's not in there to hit an ace.
Let's incorporate this into the show, as we often
Go ahead.
incorporate different things into the show. So this question about Monopoly comes up. Somebody says, well, there's much better board games out there. If you actually play, I mean, you play games besides poker. Sometimes you play games for fun, right?
For fun?
That doesn't necessarily have to do with gambling and drinking, Dave.
Well, no, I don't think so. A game that doesn't have to do with drinking or gambling?
Right.
What's the point?
How boring was this game out?
We're not going to see a flop here. Mo made a little raise.
And you look who Mo's raising there. Mo raises it with Sean and Kenny's blinds.
And actually,
no.
yeah,
I'm
I
sorry.
think it was a chop pot, excuse me.
Oh, okay, they chopped it around. Okay, thank you. I thought for a second he was raising Kenny's
You ever
blinds.
play like a huge, like a long, drawn-out game of Risk? It took like 12 hours.
There are a lot of games I play.
Yeah.
But why not make it, if you're going to play Risk, why not play it either with drinking or for money? Makes it so much more interesting.
You saw that Seinfeld episode with the Risk board, right? We're going to take a look at another chip count here. Trish up to $9,000.
170, 150.
Look at this. And suddenly we've got $42,000 on the table, folks.
Let's take a look at the differences now.
Trish, 6,000 up. Wow. Not bad. And look at that. Mike's up 3,500.
Yep.
The family's up 9,500.
Mo's down $5,000.
Hey,
Wow.
you got to keep it in the family.
Yeah.
Nice farm.
Now Mo, I believe, Mike raised it up to 150. Mo re-raised to 400 with ace-9, and Mike called. And that's a bad flop for ace. I don't think that Mike can take any heat with this flop.
Nah.
A raise by Mike, and Mo re-raises. And look at Mike. He's going to raise Mo.
Wow. And that's your...
And it's an $800 raise, and Mo calls. And these two are going head-to-head here, folks. $3,000 pot. Turns to 7. Mike is still in the lead, and Mo's going to come out and bet again.
Now, Mo can play this hand because you look at it and goes, he has the bottom end of the straight draw, but if a king comes out, he does have the ace also.
Right.
Nice play by Mo.
I mean, Mike raised him, and Mo called, and then led right into the turn.
Well, I guess Mike didn't outplay Mo that time.
like you said, it's almost, in essence, being open-ended, but it's a lot better than a single 9 because he has the ace.
Well, a single 9 is garbage.
Yeah, right. So if a king comes, he's got a king and an 8. And in that case, he actually has an overcard as well.
Right, exactly. He doesn't really want the ace, obviously, but he figures if an 8 comes, I'm good. If a king comes, I'm good. And if I'm aggressive enough against Mike, maybe I can just take it down.
Imagine if the 8 had come on the turn. I mean, Mike would have made a set. Is it tough to put Mo on a 9 there? You know, we got to really see some fireworks.
The problem is Mo re-raised pre-flop. I mean, couldn't Mo have a set also there? 10 Jack Queen came out.
Kirk is going to raise it up here. We need to see his cards.
Well, we know he's got 1 ace. It looks like 2 aces.
And Mike makes the call with Jack 10. $400 pot, heads up. Uh-oh, Mike's got top pair here, Dave. Here we go again. Kind of a leak in Mike's game. Let's see how he's going to play it.
That'll be interesting. Now, Mike just didn't lose a big hand against Mo. Let's see if he schemes off some money here.
Mike checks. Kirk's going to bet 400. Mike's got top pair here. And Mike might make a raise and maybe see where Kirk's at. Yeah, if you're Kirk, if you want, I was going to say, if you play it cagey, might you just call here? But he moves over the top all in. And this really should be a no-brainer fold for Mike. But Mike, he might be on a short stack, and he's going to make the call here, Dave, for another 2,000.
Wow.
The turn's a deuce, and the river's a 6, and just like that, Kirk has doubled through Mike. Again, we talk about it. Big fans of the way that Mike plays, but sometimes he gets involved with single top pair hands when it's kind of easily obvious that he was beat.
You wonder if the hand he just lost to Mo kind of gave him a bad taste in his mouth, and he kind of steamed off another 3,000 there.
Wow.
I mean, you got to realize there, and he said I had a huge flop, but it really wasn't a huge flop. He had top pair with backdoor flush draw, backdoor spade draw. I mean, straight draw.
This guy who plays has an hour as ace.
You know what I used to play, actually? I actually haven't played in a while. You ever play a game called Axis and Allies? It's kind of a World War II game.
It's a board game?
It's a board game. You play it with 5 players. Each person taking, one person takes U.S., one person takes Great Britain, one person takes Russia, Japan, and Germany.
Yeah.
And it's the Axis versus the Allies.
Mo raised it up there a little bit. He's going to take it down.
Fun game there. George moves over to seat 6, by the way.
So what do you think about this feeling that I have about Mike?
I agree.
And his gameplay?
You're right tonight, I got to tell you. I mean, from what I've seen of Mike recently, I thought you were wrong. The way he's played tonight, though, I mean, I really think he steamed off the money there at the Jack 10. And obviously, he overplayed ace deuce there. I don't mind the way he played it against Mo because he knows Mo can make a play versus him. But obviously, those 2 hands were obviously overplayed by him.
Looks like Mike's going to buy for 5,000 here. And Mo's going to raise this one up to 150. Trish calls with pocket 4s. Mo's got ace-8 suited. George calls, and Kenny Wynn here looks like he's going to re-raise to 600. He only has ace-10 of clubs, Dave, but he's picked his spot to pick up a lot of dead money, and I think it's going to work.
Well, that's the whole point of it.
Yeah.
If Kenny Wynn can do this every, say, 35 minutes, every
hour, he's going to
hour.
be making 400 to 500 an hour, right?
Well, what he can do is also he pays for his blinds. He doesn't lose any money. You know, and he gets all that money back, and he's probably, like you said, he's probably up $300 or $400 for the day now.
Right.
Maybe he's even. Who knows?
So Axis and Allies, yeah.
Axis and Allies. I mean, I played that game, but once again, if you add drinking to the game, it becomes even better.
I came over here to hear about this Queen High bullshit. I was calling him with the best hand.
Now this is interesting. This hand is actually kind of short, right? This game is kind of short. Plays a little different.
I know I can outplay him on my sleep, and he hits a fucking king.
And this game here. I'd like to see if a player like Kenny Wynn or a player like George, will they adjust their style to playing 5-handed here?
Yeah, we've got 2 people away from the table. Limped here, we got 3-way action. 8-4-7 on the flop. Looks like we get a 7-9 for Mike. Looks to be the best hand. He's going to bet 100 here with second pair. 9-7. Wow, and Mo is going to call with Queen 5. He's got a gut shot. The turn's a king.
He's got a gut shot with an overcard.
Yeah, I didn't get there. Went check. Is he going to throw it? No, he's just going to give up there. Yeah. And again, you know, it's an interesting play here as well. You look and say, why would Mo ever call that? Well, you know, if Mike puts a little bet out there, and you think that Mike has the possibility of bluffing, and if he's in a style where he's up against an opponent like Mo, where if he doesn't have a real big piece of it, he'll check the turn, you're actually calling to get 2 cards, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, and you got to realize that oftentimes Mike, your queen high might even be good. You never know.
Yeah.
Generally speaking, if Mike is not going to bet the turn, he's probably got a piece of it, because that means he doesn't think he has to bluff at it. Once again, we're live spike, folks. I'm David Tuckman here with Bart Hansen. You're watching No Limit Hold'em. Blinds are 25 and 50, folks. It's a big game tonight.
4-way action here. Jack 10-7 limped around. King Queen there for George. Pretty big hand.
Yeah, he's got a real big hand there. He's got overcards. He's got a gut. He's got an open-ended straight draw.
He's going to bet 200 here into the board. Now Ken's got second pair of Queen of Diamonds.
And I don't think he wants to get involved. Not against George. Now, if Mike had made that bet, Kenny might even raise.
Yeah. George's going to take it down there.
But George has got the respect of the table.
You're a 10 away?
No, 9.
Oh.
9-5. In jackpot, I can't call gotcha.
Right.
I need a couple of thousand.
Okay, I'm just going to clear this up right now, Dave. We're doing a live show. I apologize if I've got JJ Prodigy and ZZ Justin mixed up. Somebody emailed us earlier. I don't know the story. I'm just trying to incorporate it within the show.
Well, it's funny. Somebody emailed us actually asking us our opinion.
Right.
And I was like, I had no idea what they were talking about until now. But either way, I don't really care who it was particularly.
Right.
The important thing is that somebody is out there playing multiple accounts in the same tournament, which is obviously...
Mike has raised it up here to 325. He's opening up his game. He's got deuce 5 off suit. Alan's got 10-7.
Mike is opening up his game. I love it.
Yeah.
Kind of an oxymoron, isn't it?
And he's going to take it down. He's going to take down that dead money.
Yeah. Well, the game is still short. I think he thinks he can run this table over.
Yeah, Kirk and Sean are away from the table.
If she wasn't behind me, I would have called.
Kirk is still on the phone.
Well, I mean, Kirk won that big hand. I think he ran the phone to call somebody to tell him, I just doubled up.
Don't even think I respect your play, and I fall. On the other hand, I know.
I don't respect you.
Don't respect me all night.
King high.
If it was up to me, none of you guys would respect me.
Button moves over here to Mo in seat 1.
I don't want to take
Good, you deserve to get paid, man. 200.
200. I can't read that email. $200 raise by Mo here on the button. And Trish has got pocket 10s. She's gonna re-raise Mo. And that's a great play, 6-handed, Dave. Pocket 10s becomes a real premium hand.
Oh, huge. Well, it's a big hand, 9-handed. It's a huge hand,
Right.
6-handed.
Right.
I'll take it down. Right then and there. I don't want to.
Got a sweet email from my wife. And I love you, too.
Did your wife ever consider changing her last name to Tuckman?
She's considered it.
Just didn't go through.
Well, she's an actress, and it's funny. She's got a lot of her credit cards say Tuckman,
Oh, really?
but she goes by her acting name is called.
Some of her credit
SAG
cards
name.
say Melissa Tuckman on it?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, really?
That was some real shit.
Mike is going to raise it up here with King Jack.
At least I
clubs.
think they do. I don't even know.
In the small blind, Mike is raised here. Now, Kirk's got King 4 suited. He is not going to get involved.
I mean, the problem with Mike getting involved with Kirk here is he's got to realize that every single time that Kirk raises and Mike is getting involved with a hand with him, he is in there with a hand that is way, way, way behind. Because Kirk is only raising, we've seen Kirk raise 3 times. Ace, king, and aces. And not only is he getting involved with a hand that is way behind, but he's also out of position.
Yep. This is an interesting email, and I'll get to it in a second. Mike has the button.
125.
He's going to raise it up to 125. He's got 8-5 offsuit, and this is the type of game that Mike loves to control. But look at this. George is going to call with Jack 3 of diamonds. When would we ever see George call with that hand? And we're heads up here.
Well, he loves calling Mike. Loves calling Mike. Problem with it, though, is he prepared to make a play against Mike? Is he just going to check and fold now?
Well, that's a check and fold. Ace, king, king on the flop. I think Mike showed him the 8-5.
Yeah.
Now you don't call me, huh?
Yeah. Email here from JS Classic. He said, Bart and David, this is James from Tunica. And I was just curious to what you thought of my good friend Billy.
Yeah, he actually played in the game last night, James.
Did James play it?
This is James.
Oh, okay.
He played in the live game last night. He was in seat 5, actually.
He said he put it, and Billy put Francois on tilt with the excellent unorthodox play of pushing all in with 2 pair when Francois had ace queen. The thing about that is, in parentheses, is, by the way, Billy is one of the top players in Kansas City, Missouri. We were kind of getting on Billy because he was over betting ridiculous amounts with 1 pair hand.
Yeah, I really like the way he played, and I think that's part of his ploy, though. By over betting, he thought maybe he'd get a call.
Yeah.
I love the way he played the ace 4, though.
Mike has raised it up here with ace queen. Mo is not going to get involved with king.
I love the fact that he pushed with the ace 4 rather than waiting for a scary card to come up and then get scared into just, checking it down.
Under the time, though, pretty good. 10 minutes,
Get a nice question here from Niles Vanderlinden. And we'll get to it in 1 second.
Buttons moved over here to seat 6, and Mike is going to raise here again. Make it looks like 100.
What a surprise. He's got Jack 9 offsuit.
Now, George has got King Jack. He's got Mike dominated, and he's on the button. He calls, and Kenny Wynn calls it ace 4 suit.
Now, this is a different situation here. Calling Mike's raise here in position. Oh, wow.
Uh-oh, Jack 9-3, all clubs. And look at the hand for George. He's got the second nut club draw with top pair.
But Mike's got 2
And
pair.
Mike's got top 2 pair. And Mike's going to bet 400. Let's see what George is going to do here.
This could get ugly.
If George might push right here, and Mike's going to call.
Yeah, now George's got a lot of outs, obviously. He's got 3 kings plus 9 clubs, folks.
He's
He's got
makes
12
the
outs.
call here. And the pot is about $1,200 here as we go to the turn. George needs a club or a king. Here we go to the turn. Oh, it's a club.
And it's the ace of clubs. Wow, now he's no...
And George gives a free card. Mike's got an out to a 9, but it doesn't come. George checked the turn, and now he's going to bet the river. He bets 300 here on the river.
That's 300 into what? About a $1,500 pot?
Yeah. And he's going to get paid off here. Shows the King Jack. And again, and I know George watches the show, and he'll probably call me crazy, but I've said it not just about this hand, George, but to everyone that plays it this way. I like to bet some money with my monsters on the turn to try to build up a pot so I can actually make a bet on the river that is somewhat valuable.
Yeah, just to play devil's advocate in that case, by checking the turn, you're inducing a bluff, and you're inducing a bluff to
By
a
an
player.
aggressive player, absolutely.
You're inducing a bluff to a
understand
player
that.
like Mike, and Mike is very likely to bluff with nothing.
Right.
I mean, you have to understand, Mike might have nothing. There's a good chance Mike's got 6 high.
Right.
So betting the turn doesn't really do anything if he's got nothing. It's hard to know that Mike's actually have 2 pair there.
So it might just be purely to try to induce a bluff.
Exactly. I mean, because you never know with Mike.
Right.
So in that one case, I don't mind checking the turn. Only because there's a good chance Mike's got absolutely nothing.
Got a raise here by Mike. Ace deuce of diamonds. Trish's call with 9-10 of clubs. Here we go to the flop. 8-8-5 rainbow. Trish checks. And Mike is going to check right behind her. Turns to jack. Well, now Trish is open-ended. She's not going to bet. Mike checks again, and the river here is a 4. And Trish missed. And Mike's going to take it down there with ace high.
Take it down. Now, here's the email here. Talk about it. He says, Niles Vanderlinden says, you guys, and he has a bunch of questions here, and I'll just answer a couple of them right now. He says, first of all, it was, how long did it take you to move through the levels? And I can only assume that he means moving up the levels. And his other question was, did you put money in your bankroll from outside poker? Okay. And I don't know if you want to take those questions or not.
Well, I actually started my bankroll off through, I kind of had placed high in an online tournament. So that was in poker. But I can definitely see people saying, I want to switch careers.
Did you have multiple accounts when you won the tournament? No, okay. So you just won it with one, wow, just one entry into the tournament? You're right. That's
I
pretty
didn't
impressive.
win, but I placed high and I got...
Really impressive there. I was going to say, I actually started playing, my first game I ever played was 4-8 Hold'em at the Bellagio. And then I would play 3-6 and 4-8 limit, and I quickly moved up to 6-12 and 9-18. And I would say it took probably a year and a half to get to the point where I was playing, 20-40 and so forth.
200 if they're the same color.
And in terms of starting a bankroll, obviously I had to put a little bit of money into the bankroll. Maybe I started out with $600 or even $1,000, but I still had a job, and I was just playing recreationally.
Yeah.
And I guess Baron Vangertov says access and allies is better than risk. And I agree, wholeheartedly. Not even close.
We got four-way action here, limped around. Jack 8-9 with a couple of hearts. We got a weak jack from Mo over there.
Yep.
It's the best hand. Not really valuable hand here on this type of board.
That's one of those you'll either win a bet, win a small pot, or lose a big one.
Well, no one has a 10 here. Mo still has the best hand with the jack.
Sean's got a pair of 9s.
So does Alan. Actually,
Ace in the river changes nothing.
yeah, Sean's got a pair of 4s. Alan's got the 9s.
Right, oh, thank you.
Yeah. And Mo has the best hand if this goes to showdown.
I've got to get used to this, where the names are with the cards. And Mo takes it down with the nuts. A pair of jacks there.
Right. He's got a straddle here, of course, and I can't, I'm not even looking at the screen, and I would have to say it's by seat 4, right, dude?
You are correct, sir. Button is in seat 9, Mo small blinds, Trish big blinds, Mike straddles. And I got to tell you, as long as seat 3 stays open, I'm tempted to go out there and play.
I know you're not a big video game guy, but I hear there's some really great games in terms of military World War II games and stuff for like Xbox and PlayStation.
I have PlayStation 2. I love my PlayStation.
Yeah, but for sports games, right?
Yeah, more sports games, yeah. Okay, I see what you mean.
885 here, as opposed to like Call of Duty and
But this was limped around pot. Actually, no, it was a straddle pot.
So
and
calm.
George and Alan both just neither decided to raise. And now you look at a flop like this, and is Mike just going to take it down?
Wow, look at that, though. A queen comes off, and George is outkicked. Now, George checked the turn here. Alan bet 200, and George here is going to make the check call. You know, if a blank comes, Alan, if you're Alan, you make a value bet here on the river.
I think for sure.
And
he is.
Bet it.
And George is probably just going to call.
Unless he thinks that Alan might have sandbagged an 8 or bet on a flush draw on the turn here.
Well, it's not much you can beat with a queen there. Heck of a laydown
Well, if you're looking back, though, there's not really much, like you said, not much you can beat with king-queen here.
Well, you can beat a 5. You can beat queen-jack. You can beat queen-10. But you got to wonder, what hand would Alan actually bet the river on, though? Would he bet a 5 on the river? He'd probably check it down.
And Alan just shows him a queen. I don't even think he showed the kicker.
Last night I had 8-6. Really?
Looks like we're about half an hour through the show here, Dave. Button moves over to seat 1. Or halfway through the show. Did I say half an hour through the show? Halfway through the show. Halfway through the week. We're at the midpoint. We're 2.5 days through a 5-day week. We got a raise here by Sean. 4-5 suited. He's going to make it 175 to go. Alan's going to call with king 8 of hearts, and these two are going to go heads up.
Got about 7.5 hours left of Live at the Bike until the weekend.
$400 pot here. Ace, king, queen. Sean does not continue to bet, and Alan checks right behind him.
It's a monster flop for Sean.
Right.
Man, I mean, you can think of a worse flop for 4 or 5 of hearts.
Well, you wonder now when Alan checked the turn behind him, does he throw a bet out? I mean, there's no way he's going to win this hand.
No.
He's trying to think. And he's going to probably throw a little bet
He's
out
going
there.
to see if maybe he can represent. Well, I mean, now Alan cannot beat an ace. Alan cannot beat a queen.
I don't necessarily know if Alan thinks that deep, but against a good player, I don't know if you can possibly call that board with king 8 there. Here we go, the river to 7.
The only thing that's odd is, what would Sean check the flop with?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What, he had a set of kings?
Pocket aces.
Or would you even check a set of pocket aces there? I mean, look at the flop.
Yeah.
Ace, king, queen with 2 spades.
Have you ever played Parcheesi before?
Parcheesi, I think I played it once or twice when I was younger. I haven't played it in quite a while, though.
Shoots and ladders?
I might have played that once or twice as well. Candyland.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Wow, Kirk has got pocket aces here in seat 5.
Well, let's see if Mike gives him action again.
Well, it's going to get limped up here.
Mike is personally bankrolling Kirk here.
And Kirk is going to raise.
And look how much. Let's see how much he makes it with aces in the big blind.
He's only going to make it 150 more, Dave. Not that much. Now, Alan's probably going to call. I don't know if Trish will call, but Mike will probably call. I mean, I like Mike's hand better than Trish's hand here. Yeah,
Oh,
he
definitely.
does.
Yeah, Trish's hand is pretty much garbage there. Queen 8 offsuit.
So here we go, about a $700 pot. Well, Jack 5-7. Mike's got bottom pair. Allen's got a gut shot to the 6.
He's actually got a double gutter here.
Oh, yeah.
A
he's got
10
double
or a 6 would give Allen the straight here. Let's see. I'm not sure if Allen recognizes that or not.
Right.
Though.
Well, I didn't recognize it at first. Kirk has bet 800 here. And as you can see, Allen's 30% dog here. Well, he just folds. I wonder if he thought he was open-ended.
And that's the kind of hand I absolutely love. It's a double gutter, but there's no way anybody can see. If my 10 comes off or 6 comes off, nobody's going to put me on 8-9 there.
Yeah.
Because they're going to go, wait a second, this guy wouldn't call it a gut shot. They wouldn't see it.
Right.
And those are the kind of hands you make a ton of money off of.
And you know that Allen's going to usually call with an open-end straight draw. I don't think he saw it, Dave.
Yeah, no, I almost guarantee you didn't see it. And Kirk has now played 4 hands, folks. 2 ace-kings and 2
Actually,
pocket
he just said double gutter.
Wow.
Allen just said double gutter, and he folded.
And he threw it away?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a rainbow board with a double gutter. Why not call one time?
I mean, the funny thing, too, is against a player like Kirk, who I can tell probably, he's just playing a pretty solid ABC. There might be some scare cards that might actually slow him down. Say top pairs on the turn. I mean, you could get 2 cards there.
Of course, you got to think, we also know what Kirk has.
Right.
Allen doesn't. What if Kirk had queens and an ace or a king fall?
Exactly.
You can use those as scare cards, too. I mean, there's a whole bevy of cards that you can use to scare Kirk. Obviously we see that he has aces, but nobody else at the table knows that.
It looked like if I just came out for 500 that you were going to call.
I don't know how much
I mean, Kirk came out and he bet 800 into about a $500 pot. That's what he's saying. So Allen just, he didn't get involved with it.
I don't mind throwing it away. I'm just thinking, 8-9 there, 8-9 offsuit. You're calling to try to hit something like that, aren't you?
I thought you had an open-ended straight.
You've got to think of the implied odds there.
Well, again, he said he had a double gutter, so.
Wow, well, hand it to Allen. Allen is full of surprises. Allen has really perked up his game here. I mean, you see him value betting with just an ace-queen there in the river. Top pair with a paired board out there.
Button moves over here to seat 6. Yeah, we're going to play musical chairs here, Dave.
Sometimes when you're playing in a poker game, you've got to realize also, oftentimes, what your impression of a poker player was, say, 6 months ago, has to change because the player might have learned how to play a little bit better. Oftentimes you'll sit down in a game and you'll go, oh, this guy's a live one, because of the way he played, say, 6 months ago or 8 months ago, and you've got to realize that this guy might have learned how to play poker.
$150 raise here by Kirk. He's got pocket 6s. George has moved over to seat 7. He's going to call him with Jack 10 suited. Allen's in there with King 7 suited. And we're going to see 3-way action here. Wow, look at that food. Here we go to the flop. Well, 9-3-3. Pretty good flop for 6s.
Yeah, definitely is. Let's see if Kirk can follow through.
And he checked it, Dave.
Wow.
Kirk checked that flop.
How do you check that flop?
And now the turn is an ace, and now can he represent?
Well, he's still good, but now that's a really scary card.
But,
They all check again.
neither Allen or George are not doing anything, and Kirk is going to win this in a showdown. If it goes to showdown here.
If anybody bets this, they can take it down.
Well, now George is going to bet 200. And Kirk just folds there. Wow, again, I've seen this guy play. He plays it very conservative post-flop there. I mean, if you're going to raise with 6s there, you don't need a set. I would think that's the type of flop you're looking at.
Okay, now I want to throw this at you.
Yeah.
Is it 600?
Am I crazy, or was it super obvious George was bluffing there? Because what did the Queen of Spades make him on the river that he would check 2 times and suddenly now bet?
He's probably not going to bet a queen. He'll be backed into a
There's
queen.
no way he's going to bet a queen.
Right.
If he had an ace, he would have bet it on the turn. Right? If he had an overpair to the 9, he would have bet that on the turn. I mean,
Yeah.
what do you think he was? What was he sandbagging a pocket 9 the entire time? I mean, come
he
on.
bets 200 to a $500 pot, too.
So clearly a bluff.
And then, he bets Allen folds, so you don't even have to deal with the guy behind you either.
Yeah, I mean,
Got a raise here by Mike with pocket 6s. Makes it 150. And seat number 5 is going to call here with pocket 4s.
No aces.
people at home can tell me that they can go, oh, Dave, you can see those cards. Come on, it's easy for you. I can 100% guarantee you, if I'm in Kirk's spot there, I call George.
Alan outflops Mike here. He's got ace-queen flop and queen 8-5. Mike is going to come out and bet here. Use the pre-flop raiser. Looks like he's going to bet 400.
And Alan is probably going to check raise this one. Alan's got a pretty big hand here. Not only does he have top pair, but he also has the ace of clubs, just in case the club does come out.
Give me a little space. All right.
He also knows. That was kind of funny.
And Alan's going to check raise. Mike asked him to give him space.
Yeah. Ask me questions. Don't touch me, though, okay? And Mike's quickly gets away from it. Doesn't give Alan any action there. Sometimes I love having a hand like that when I have the ace of clubs because I know nobody else can be on the nut flush draw.
That's Alan.
Now, the last hand, I want to credit George for actually betting. Obviously, he knows Jack high is not going to take it down. And credit George for actually betting the river and taking down a $500 pot. I'm just real surprised Kirk didn't actually call that.
I tried, George, didn't work.
Do you play chess?
Yes, I do. I mean, I haven't played in a while, but I was pretty good when I was younger.
Yeah, I love chess. And chess I really enjoy.
We will have to play one time so I can kick your ass.
Now, once again, if you add gambling or drinking to the game becomes exponentially better.
Mike has raised it up here. He made it 150 to go with ace-jack.
And Kirk's probably going to re-raise with queens here. Let's see what he does.
Does he have queens? I couldn't quite tell.
Yeah, he does. 2 queens.
He's going to make it 400. And again, if you're Mike, you should fold this hand in an instant, Dave. There's no way you should try to call here, right, on the flop? Let's see here. Let's see what Mike does.
Yeah, you just know you're badly dominated, and at least he gets rid of it here.
Kirk did not show him.
Yeah,
Kirk said it. Kirk had a pretty good night here just playing at ABC.
Well, it's easy to play at ABC when you get aces twice, queens once, and ace-king twice.
And get paid off by a weak top pair as well.
Yeah, I mean, the strategy works. ABC works out perfect when you catch cards. But look, it hasn't really worked out well for Kenny Wynn, though, because Kenny Wynn hasn't caught any hands.
How come I always get drug into the conversation? I'm minding my own business.
Trish,
What?
you know what is your fault?
Were you being sarcastic? You really don't know. Do you think that's gambling?
You guys are playing musical chairs, huh?
Well, Kenny Wynn's going to bring it in here with King 7 of hearts. He's going to bring it in to 325, and Mike's got a pretty big hand here for him in the straddle spot. He makes the call with Ace 10. Ace 10 against King 7 of hearts here. Wow, Kenny Wynn flops a flush.
Oh, there you go.
And it goes check, check. The turn is a deuce. So Kenny did not bet here.
And Mike is drawing dead, folks.
And now Kenny's going to bet 300. He checked it one time on the flop. And Mike makes the call. He's got middle pair. And the river's a deuce. Kenny's going to bet again. 500 here. Mike is going to fold.
Mike throws it away, and that's Kenny's image there. Mike probably pays up a lot of other players. But there you go. Kenny's played 2 hands all night, and he's probably up close to $700 or $800.
The other thing I wanted to bring up was he's raising in mid to late position with King 7 of hearts. Not necessarily a monster, but it is a straddled pot. So there is more dead money in there.
Well, he looks at it this way. He goes, he's playing his image. He figures he can buy himself the button, right? If he doesn't get called, okay, great, I can pick up $175 in dead money. If I do get called, okay, well, I've got position. And there's always the off chance that I hit my hand like he did there. Hey, I'm looking at this 2+2 post from Tom DeMaine. And he says, he talks about the Monopoly World Championships. Are there really Monopoly World Championships? There can't be.
I don't know.
Okay, cool.
Jack 8-7 here, couple spades. Pretty big flop for Sean. He's got an open-ended straight draw and a flush draw.
Oh, wow, huge flop for Sean.
And we got a bet out here by Sean. He's going to bet 175 here.
Yeah, he's got a big flop. Now, nobody has a jack here. Nobody else is really a draw.
Alan has a gut shot to the 9. With the king of spades, he doesn't get involved. It's funny, it is the new Alan, because oftentimes we would see him call there, wouldn't we?
Who is this guy?
I know.
I'm like, I mean, is this the same Alan? I mean, a month ago we were watching him. A guy would bet $300 into a $500 pot, and the flop would come out queen high, and Alan would call with ace 10.
Right.
I mean, it was, and with no draw whatsoever, no flush draw. And here we see him throwing away gut shots. We see him throwing away double gutters. Man.
Pocket aces here for seat 5 again. Wow.
This is incredible. This guy is just on fire.
Yeah.
And Sean is going to raise it up, it looks like, on the button. No, he just lumped in, actually.
Actually, he did. He raised it up to 150 here. He's got 3-4 diamonds, and let's see how Kirk is going to play it. Probably going to re-raise at least to probably 500 or 600 here.
Yeah,
right?
the interesting thing is now he's looking at the players on the table. Can you slow play this, thinking other players won't call? The problem is there's too many other players in there. I think you need to limit the field. Oftentimes, if it's a very big raise, you can just smooth call to disguise your hands.
He's going to make it 500 more. George is going to get away from 7s pretty easily, I'm sure.
And that'll get Mo out, and obviously that'll get Trish out. And he wonders if Sean can actually call this. Does he have enough money to take one off here?
Well, could you have taken one off if you're George with 7s? Although you did have people behind you and it wasn't in position.
It all depends on how much money you've got, really.
Sean made the call here, and the flop comes Queen, Jack, 9. Not a great flop for aces.
Yeah, it's a scary flop for aces, but obviously he's in great shape here. I mean, Sean is drawing almost dead.
He's going to throw out a $1,000 bet. He's going to bet the pot here, Dave.
Yeah, and that'll obviously take it down.
The funny thing is here, if you get called once in your deep stack, boy, you got to really start hating your hand with your aces.
The problem is now, Kirk's got a lot of money, but Sean doesn't have that much, so you can't get him off the hand anyway. A lot of times in real deep stack poker, sometimes you'll see players actually call with that. Even with a 3-4, they're not playing their hand, they're playing your hands. And if a scary card like a king or a 10 come off, or even an 8, you can represent.
Well, let's take a look at another chip count in here. Trish, the big stack there. Kirk up to 8,000. Now we've got almost 44,000 on the table. Let's take a look at the differences.
Yeah.
I think Mike might be negative now, and he is.
Oh, yeah, he's down big.
Big shot downwards, folks. And Mo is still in the negative. Trish at 5,500, Kirk up 5,000.
Well, I mean, Kirk's 5,000 earnings is completely from Mike.
Right.
But hey, the family is still pretty much even.
And Mike is moving over here to seat 6, but he's going to play the last hand on the button here.
I tell you, these guys are a pain in the ass. They're moving all over the place tonight.
175.
King Queen here for Sean. Going to make it 175.
And obviously, he wants position on Kirk. That's the reason for the move. Mike is not one of those players. He's not moving because of superstition.
Right.
He wants position on Kirk.
Well, I mean, Mike is the type of player that, might recognize the fact that board against Kirk, if Kirk didn't flop a set, if he had aces specifically there, but we bring it back, if you take a look at the texture of that board, Kirk really could have hit that board in a big way. There are a lot of scare cards that might come for Kirk on the turn.
Yeah, no, you're 100% correct there. And I think Mike thinks he can outplay Kirk. I don't know if he can, but he thinks he can.
Yeah.
And maybe that's one of the reasons why he wants position on him.
Email here from Mark. He says, on Monday you guys were talking about a rule of thumb way to calculate odds. Something about taking your outs and multiplying by 4 or 2. Can you go over that again? Well, yeah, it was actually somebody from the LA poker scene, one of the consultants that worked with the World Poker Tour, gave me some commentating advice one time, and he said, if you actually multiply your outs on the turn by 4, you get an approximate percentage of what you are in the hand. So if you got 15 outs, approximately 60%, 14 outs. Now, obviously, it's a little bit off.
Right.
And then if you multiply by 2 on the turn with one card to come, those are your percentages of winning.
Right,
the hand.
exactly. So on the flop, you multiply by 4. On the turn, you multiply 2.
Look at this. Sean's raised up with queens, and Mike is going to call in the small blind with Jack 6 offsuit. Oh, wow. And Mike has the only diamond here. Top set for Sean. And he's going to come out and bet.
It's one of the rare times that Sean can hit a set here, and Mike still has outs.
Mike makes the check call with a pair and a flush draw. The turn's a deuce. Mike checks again. You'd think that Sean's going to continue to drive here. Oh, he checks right behind him. And the river's a diamond, but it fills Sean up.
Yeah.
Mike's going to come out and bet here, but Mike doesn't have a high diamond.
Now, Sean has induced this bluff.
Yeah. And he's going to raise.
Well, he's hoping. He's hoping upon hoping that Mike's got the ace of diamonds. And I got to tell you, sometimes I'll overbet this pot, hoping my opponent has the ace of diamonds.
He raised it up here, Dave, to 800, and Mike is thinking about it here. The pot is about, I want to say 2,200, 800 to call here. I mean, Mike, this is basically just a bluff catcher, right?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I mean, he does have a flush, but it's only the 6 of diamonds.
I mean, Sean's not going to raise with, say, even 2 pair. Sean probably not even going to raise the deuce here. He's just going to call.
Right.
I mean, Sean has either got, say, the ace of diamonds, a full house, or nothing. And in this case, obviously, full house is the answer. Now, that rule of thumb, obviously, is a little bit off, but it definitely is a good gauge to keep you, give you a nice, framework there.
Right.
Searching for words, I tell you. Absolutely searching. Can't find it. Blah, blah, blah.
I think that might have been the first time your wife has ever emailed the show. We had Isaac's parents email us last night.
It's family week.
Yeah.
It's great. Well, my wife actually watches the show occasionally.
Well, Seat 5's got pocket 9s. Kirk is really getting hit in the deck here, hit in the face of the deck. And
it's amazing, all his big pocket pairs are holding up, too.
Well, again, and Mike is going to call here with Jack 7 of diamonds. I mean, you got to wonder, so if the one overcard comes here, is Kirk just going to check and not bet?
It's a completely different spot, though.
Yeah.
Now Mike is calling with what he knows is a definitely...
And look at this, though. Mo has come out and re-raised with pocket 8s, 500 more out of the blind. He knows that Kirk is a tight player.
Yeah, and this is interesting here. Now, Kirk is deep and Mo is deep. And does Kirk really want to play a big, big pot against Mo? No, he doesn't. And Mo's going to take it down. Nice bet by Mo.
And that's another case of kind of a tight player like Mo who plays tight in this game, picking his spot to pick up a couple $100 here or there.
Well, sometimes having those chips behind you, even though you're not using them, that's the power of it.
Yeah.
If Mo only had, say, $2,000 or $1,500, Kirk might even move all in. You never know, because he's not risking that much.
Button moves over there to George.
You wonder if actually Kirk could have taken one off, hoping that Mo had aces, though.
We're again playing a little bit short. Seat 8 and Seat 9 are away from the table.
Right, we're already playing 8-handed and losing 1 or 2 players. We're down to 6 or 7-handed.
Wow, Mo's got pocket 9s this time, and he raises. Makes it 200. Mike had limped in with Jack 8.
Now, what I was going to try to say before was I don't mind Mike calling raises now if he's in position. But calling raises out of position, he can't even outplay somebody then.
Wow, Mo flops top set. Let's see how he's going to play it. He comes out and bets it. He bets 200. And he takes it down.
Now, Mo is betting it to Mike in a completely different way. A lot of people will check to Mike, giving Mike the chance to bluff. Mo bets it, hoping that
Mike doesn't think that he has any part of it, and then he'll raise.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He almost bets inducing the bluff.
Right, betting to induce a raise bluff.
Exactly.
A bluff raise.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He knows Mike is capable of doing that.
And now Mo has pocket 10s. So 8s, 9s, and now 10s.
Well, they're getting better.
Yeah. And Mike is visibly not pleased here.
Well, he's having a bad night. He's down about $6,000.
No raises.
And you wonder, is George going to get involved heads up against... No, he's not.
He had 8, 9 of diamonds.
And Mo is now running this table over. I tell you, the hands are all coming in kind of flurries for everybody. Yeah. We saw, right when the show started, Trish raised 6 hands in a row. Now Mo has raised 3 hands in a row. And Baron Bangertoth tells me that there are world championships for everything. Well, there you go. I guess there's hope for me yet. Maybe I can become a world champion or something.
Do you play backgammon?
Not professional. Not like, I mean, I know how to play. I enjoy it. Once in a while, actually, my wife and I will play backgammon.
Trish is going to raise it up here to 250. She's got ace-king, and so does Kirk. Let's see if Kirk throws a re-raise. Now, again, it is Trish raising here on the button.
Yeah, it's an interesting way to play it. Ace-king out of position. It can be tough hand to play.
Mike also has cards.
And this is the power of position. It's always the question. It's always the question, do you raise or call with ace-king in the small and big lines?
Kirk looks like he is just going to make the smooth call. Mike is not in the hand.
And the pot is quickly, what, about $600, right?
Yep. So here we go. Heads up. Trish has position on Kirk. Well, both players miss, as expected.
Oh, and this is what happens now. Since Trish has position on him, you imagine Trish is going to take this away. And sure enough, Kirk checked. Trish bets 400 and takes it down.
You know, oftentimes, especially when I have Mike behind me,
Yeah.
who might call with any two cards, if I had ace-king in that spot and I was faced a button raiser like Trish, even though I know Trish is, I can give her credit for a good hand, I think that re-raising is probably good in that spot 75 to 80% of the time. Obviously, you're not going to do the same thing always. But do you see what I mean? I mean, why do you want to give Mike a free chance to get in there? He'll almost come in automatically with 50% of his hands.
It's not just Mike. Also, it's a matter of. I agree with you because it's also a matter of it's a short game.
Right.
There's a good chance that Ace King is the best hand.
Right.
If it's not the best hand now, hey, well you can represent that it's the best hand.
Right.
I mean, think of all the hands Trish might be in there with.
Let's use the button raiser as
Right.
well.
Now, if you re-raise her, and you come out and bet 500, well then suddenly you've taken control of the pot and you probably win it. Now, obviously, it's pretty scary because if you re-raise her and she smooth calls you, man, you got to have the courage to obviously fight her on the flop.
But oftentimes, as you'll find, tighter players tend to avoid each other, I think. Like, they're not going to make necessarily, I mean, unless they're really good, Dave. And usually the tight, solid players, I wouldn't necessarily, they're really good. They're trying to pick their spots. Like, I don't know if I've ever seen Kirk or Trish really mix it up. Do you know what I mean by mix it up?
Yeah,
like in that spot.
Although I will say Trish has actually raised, when she raised 6 straight times, one of those times was 4-5.
4-5 of diamonds.
Yeah.
I mean, Well, Kirk has got another pretty nice hand there. King, queen suited in the small blind.
George has got 9.
Yeah, he limped in. And let's see if Kirk raises here in the small blind. Again, I mean, that hand playing 7-handed is probably the best hand.
Yeah, I don't mind raising this here because you kind of want to get a little information about George's hand. Remember, George limped in, but might he have limped in with kings?
We're just going to see it limped here, and Mike is in the hand. We can't see what he has.
Uh-oh.
And Kirk's got top pair, and George has a set of 9s. Kirk comes out and bets here. And let's see how George is going to play it.
Yeah, happy birthday, George.
And George here is going to raise to 400.
Now, can you get rid of this if you're Kirk? Look at it. He's got top pair with a pretty good kicker, but he's got no redraw possibility. Now, George is limped in. He could have anything. You could be drawing dead almost right now because George could have Jack 10.
It's an interesting situation. No limit. But Kirk is going to call, and like you said, he's in real bad shape. We've got a $1,000 pot here going to the turn. And now it is a deuce, which is obviously a big, non-scary card here for both players.
Yeah, and Kirk is now drawing dead.
And I think George might think Kirk is on some sort of draw, and he's going to push.
Wow, there you go.
And now Kirk folds. Well, luckily for Kirk, I guess a queen, maybe if a queen comes, he gets into more trouble, or possibly a king as well. I just think it's against a tight player. If you come out and lead, regardless if it's a raised pot or not with top pair, even with best or second best kicker, and you get raised and you're out of position, kind of tough to continue on with the hand with those one pair hands, right?
Definitely, and hey, hand to Kirk there. It's a great laydown by him. We've seen players, go broke with that hand, actually.
We're playing 8-handed here.
Unraised pot, and he recognized that George could have anything. Good chance that he was behind, and he threw it away. Straddle here from Allen, actually.
Yep, so it's going to be $100 to call.
And Mo's first act, and he's going to limp in with ace-5 suited.
He's actually going to bring this one in for a raise, Dave.
Is he? Wow, okay.
250, which I like a lot better than limping.
Yeah, I saw 4 chips. I just assumed they were 4 quarters, but obviously they're not.
Allen's got Jack 7 offsuit. He's going to make the call here, and we're going to go heads up.
He makes the call out of position against Mo. But Jack 7 offsuit.
$500 pot here. Flop comes 10-9-4. Allen's got a gut shot here to the 8.
Just when you thought that was a new Allen.
And Mo's going to drive really hard. And the one thing you can pick up about Mo is that he picks his spots as well. And against the players that he knows that are recreational, I mean, he will in essence pick on them. He will drive forward with his hands if he's raised pre-flop. Absolutely.
What should I get?
Now, the funny thing here, though, is, too, if you turn it around, and you sometimes wonder if some players that play in this game watch this show or really want to step up their game. If Allen were to actually come out and bet the flop,
he'd take it down.
Mo would be out of there in a flash.
Or if Allen check raised the flop, Mo would be out of there in a second.
Right.
Of course.
Wow. You guys got to tell me how much. I get $25 to show my hand. Free? Should I show free?
Don't make me make a phone call.
Don't make phone calls.
Why you laughing? I got a phone.
Email here from Mike Annalini. He says, I heard that you guys mentioned on the circuit that there aren't really any no-limit cash game books out there. Have you two thought of writing one? With the amount of no-limit cash games you've watched, I would think you're just as qualified as the hundreds of other poker authors out there.
That's a great idea. Thank you, Mike.
Go on the internet?
Appreciate it. Appreciate the
So
email.
what is it? Your singular? What is it called?
Got a little raise here by Sean. Jack 9 of hearts. Mike has made the call. You know, I wonder. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily do it. George actually has king queen here, and he's going to let it go in the small blind. Mike made the call with queen 9, and we're going to see it heads up Jack 9 against queen 9 here.
Well, Mike's got him dominated, but hard for him to know that, obviously.
Well, 7-5-6 here. Both players have the same gut shot with overcards.
Now, Sean has backdoor flush draw possibility. Mike's got the best hand right now, Queen High
This
does.
one goes check here, Dave. Here we go to the turn. Oh,
Oh.
turns a jack, and now Sean has a pair, and he's going to come
Oh,
back.
overwhelming favorite here. Mike is in really bad shape.
And Mike is kind of, you know, kind of playing in reverse now. You know, he's just kind of laying back. He's down several $1,000s tonight. Not as aggressive as we've seen him in the past.
Yeah. Well, you know, his aggressive nature tonight has actually bit him in the ass.
I want to ask you, and if anybody else knows out there, like, how much do you think, like, if you write a book, if you're like a Russ Fox, that writes kind of a, you know, a poker book, or even like a Ron Rose, or we're not talking about the 2+2 books, because those, I think, kind of get, you know, mass publication, or at least widespread publication. How much can you really make on those books? Do you think you make like a royalty? Like a retainer?
Well, of course you do. It all depends on, obviously, it all depends on how popular the book is.
Right.
Now, I'm not a publisher.
Yeah.
But I actually have a couple of friends that have written books. It all depends on how many books sell. You know, is it popular or not? I mean, Doyle Brunson has made an awful lot of money from Super System 1. Russ Fox, I imagine, hasn't made that much money from his book. I don't want to say that. I don't know for sure, but obviously Doyle Brunson has done better with Super System than Russ Fox has done with his.
Well, can selling a book equate to, say, what you used to do when you talk about, like, selling a CD if you're a music artist? I mean, I used to hear that, like, a band makes $1.67 for a CD that they sell. I mean, after everything, even though it costs like $15 for a CD in the store. I mean, is that something that you can equate with a book?
I would imagine there is. Now, sometimes publishers will give you will pay, you know, like a writer, say, a 3-book deal or something like that. Mike has obviously gotten Bart thinking here. Bart's got the pencil out, and he's starting to write a book already.
Mike's going to raise it up here to 150 with King Queen, and Mo is just going to call with Ace King, and Allen's in there with 7-9. So Mo's kind of slow play this pre-flop. Wow, he hits trip aces. I was going to wonder, Dave, if a king came out, how much trouble Mike would get in.
King comes out, Mike's in trouble. You know that, especially against Mo.
Now, Mike has made the continuation bet to 300, and Allen gets rid of the 7. Again, the new Allen. And Mo's going to check raise. And Mike is going to get away from it.
Yeah, Mike goes away.
Again, Mike is really lucky that that flop did become something like King 7.
Yeah, it's funny. Mike is really disappointed. He goes, oh man, a bad flop for me again. Actually, it was a great flop for him.
Yeah.
You know, not as good as Queen, but not bad at all.
Email here from Trent Sano saying that he has heard us talk about, and other poker commentators talk about, how players should or shouldn't make a move against another player because that player might or may not be paying attention or doing something else. Obviously, the ABC poker player is the most common poker player, but do you find that at the lower limits, players can make unorthodox plays at times? And if they do make those plays, are they harder to predict and therefore put that particular player on hand? Well, the thing about the lower limit save is usually it's a restricted buy-in, so you shouldn't be making any moves, right?
Yeah, I mean,
how do you make a move in the 200 game?
Yeah, no, it's difficult obviously to make moves. I mean, if you play ABC in those smaller games, usually you'll beat them.
We had a little raise here by, I believe, by Mike here with Queen 10 of diamonds, and everybody's in the party here. And
look at
Allen's flop trip 6s here.
And let's see if Allen's the same Allen. Now, he's on the button with trip 6s. Let's see if Mo bet. No, Mo's going to check, and Allen's going to bet his trip 6s.
He's going to bet his trip 6s, and it's a rainbow board.
And it's
And look at Mo. Mo's going to call him with the jack. Actually, Mo check raises with the jack.
looks like it. Wow.
How did you ever think that Alan bet a 6 here? And I think maybe Alan's been watching the show, Dave, and he's going to move all in here. And I think what might save Mo here is the fact that he can't beat a real jack. There's no draw out here.
No, Mo can't beat anything. I mean, it's a pretty easy laydown for
And you
Mo
can
here.
hear Mo say Jack Queen, huh? The funny thing here is if Mo had Ace Jack, would he make this call from what we've seen?
If he had Ace Jack, he might, but man.
It's going to be another, looks like maybe 3,500? Another 3,500. The pot's about 7,000, 3,500 to call.
No, yeah, I mean, one of those things where Mo can go, well, I'm getting 2 to 1, but come on, you're probably drawing dead or close to it.
And Alan shows 1 king, and then I think he shows the 6. And I wish Alan wouldn't show that, because now Mo's got to think twice against Alan. Is he actually betting a hand now?
Yeah, well, now, I almost guarantee that he would not have bet that if he was up front. But he was on the button and everybody checked to him.
Okay.
So, interesting. Now, the one thing I'll say about that, to answer Trent's email also, I will say, sometimes it is difficult to be playing in those smaller limit games because some of the players don't necessarily know the proper amount to bet. Sometimes a bet might appear to be weak or a bet might appear to be strong, but you've got to realize that the player you're playing against might not know what they're doing.
Looks like Sean got up, so now we're playing 8-handed.
7-handed, actually, wow.
Or 7-handed, excuse me.
Yeah.
And Kirk moved over to seat 4. Live straddle here by seat 6.
Big difference from the previous weeks. We've been having 2 25-50 games for the last, say, month and a half.
And Mike's buying in for more.
Alan, if you called me there,
You called
I
instead of
would got
raise.
all my money.
King 5 of
I
clubs.
got double up.
Yeah.
I put that.
8-7-6 here.
And you hear what Mo says there. Mo says, if you just called me on the flop there, you get all my money because I have to move in on the turn.
I bet 1,000 if you called.
Yeah, but do you really think that Mo really would have continued to bet there after getting called
That's what he
by
said.
Alan? Check raise? I don't buy it. I think he's trying to get Alan to play in the old way so he can be more predictable. River's a 4 here, and Mo has made a straight. And Mike is going to come in and bet here as a total bluff. Mo has got the straight. The only hand that he would lose to here is 9-10. Now, this is a situation here where we talk about, will Mo raise here with the 5? Is there any value to raising here when Mike has come out and bet? Unless you think that he's making it raise, making it look like a bluff, and might get Mike to call with trips or 2 pair.
Yeah,
You know?
in this one case, I think there might be some value to it only because you don't have to show your hand.
Right.
And not showing your hand to Mike
Right.
might be worth it. Also, by raising it, you never know. Mike might re-raise bluff.
Yeah. And Mo is going to raise. He's going to make it 900 more here.
Against most players, no, it probably is not worth betting. Raising it is.
And Mike is just getting kicked all over the place.
But Mike and Mo, it's kind of a special case. I mean, Mo doesn't want to show him that hand.
Yep.
He doesn't want to show him what he's calling him down with. Look at that. The U.S. and World Championships of Monopoly are going to be held in 2007, 2008. Wow. Maybe I'll gear up. I got to start training for that. How do you train for that? I'm going to go to the gym tomorrow.
I got to check out this Puerto Rico game they're talking about. Button moves over here to Trish in seat number 2.
I'm going to start practicing rolling doubles.
And Kirk has moved. I think he's sat in every single seat here tonight. He's over now in seat 3. He just keeps moving around the table. Mike still has position on him. Alan's got pocket 10s. He limped in. Jack 4-7 here on the flop.
Well, Mike's got outs here. He's got to be careful. Mike, any 5, and Mike's got the straight.
Looks like a bet and a call by Mike. A bet by Alan and a call by Mike. Turns a king.
We wonder if Mike can represent here and take it away from him.
Well, check here on the turn.
Wow, I mean, there's almost nothing
that
Alan can beat now.
But he's going to make the call here.
Yeah. Say, what do you got, a 4? And that's exactly what he's saying. There's not one thing you can beat.
Not a king, not a jack, not a 7.
Yeah.
Well, That is exactly what pocket tens came down to. It got worse and worse. It was just a bluff catcher at the river.
And you got to realize that. And it's one thing that Mike, I don't think Mike realizes this, that he bluffs so often.
Right.
I don't understand why he's shocked when
someone
people
might
call him
with
down.
a bluff catcher.
Yeah. There's nothing you can beat except a bluff. But Mike, you bluff every other hand. And Mike's going to raise it up here. He's got a real hand. He's got pocket aces, folks.
He's going to make it 250 here. Now, George has got a suited connector, 7-6 of clubs.
Now, you got to realize that even players that raise every hand,
right,
they get real hands sometimes too.
Set of aces here for Mike.
Oh, man. And I got to tell you,
hearts.
how lucky is Mo that he threw away? Mo had an ace, actually, and that's the case ace out there.
Yeah.
Mo threw away an ace, and I think he threw it away because George called in between.
Well, George has got bottom pair. He's trying to figure out, Dave, again, if Mike didn't have a big piece of this, I mean, this is any type of resistance, like say Mike had raised with 2 black kings or anything, this is a very, very hard flop to take heat from. It's an ace with 3 hearts up there.
Yeah.
And obviously, Mike would have continued on with the hand. But
it's a terrible flop for George there. He's got bottom pair, no straight possibilities, no flush possibilities.
Yeah.
Checking out the full tilt form there.
Still reading from a couple
full
months ago.
I'm sorry, full contact poker.
Yeah.
I believe, actually, I want to say, isn't the Heads Up Championship starting soon? I want to say the play starts on March 3rd.
Well, NBC?
NBC's,
Oh,
yeah, the one where it's like, it's an invite only.
I wonder if Yoshi Nakano is invited again. 5-way action here, limped around. Queen deuce 4. Yoshi was on the board for this game. I didn't see him come in here tonight.
Top pair for Allen. He's going to bet it.
Yep.
And Allen takes it down. Hey, Allen is up tonight, too. He's having a good night. The winners so far have been Allen, obviously, Trish, and Kirk are our 3 big winners for the night. George, I want to say, is up a little bit. Mike, obviously, and Mo are down. Once again, we're live at the bike, folks. I'm David Tuckman here with Bart Hansen. We're playing No Limit Hold'em. Blinds are 25 and 50. You can catch us every Monday through Friday from 7 to 10 p.m. Pacific time. Tomorrow night's game is usually our smaller No Limit game. The game most of us play, actually. We usually put like our $80 buy-in game or our $200 buy-in game tomorrow night. Then Friday's back to the big times. We've got a 10-20 blind game. Also No Limit Hold'em. And if you're a Limit Hold'em fan, usually Monday nights are Limit Hold'em nights. Go to liveatthebike.com for a schedule. Limp in from Trish. Mike folds, and George limps in. That's going to bring everybody in there, and it's going to go 4 ways here. The pot is $200. Trish had limped in under the gun with ace-king, probably expecting a raise from her son, but didn't get one. Ken limped in with Jack-10. 9-6 deuce there. And look, Allen with 9-6. He's got 2 pair, top 2.
No, you know what? No, I know what happened. Trust me. Oh, nice.
And is he going to slow play this? Let's see. Having a little problem with the shuffle master there, and they fix it up. And let's see if Allen bets it here. And Allen is going to bet it straight out. I was wondering if he was going to bet it. Now, a lot of times you can check that and count on a bet from Mike, but Mike's not in the hand. Now, George has got a gut shot straight draw. He needs a 5, and only a 5, and he's not going to get involved, I don't think. He's still thinking about it. It's funny. Allen usually doesn't bet a monster, so if he's betting, he's probably got some sort of a weak 9, and George might think he can get a free card on the turn. Well, George still has a gut shot here. Still needs a 5. Allen checks, and George takes the free card. A 7 on the river changes nothing. It's the 3rd heart. Allen's got the best hand. You can see by the check mark. And he bets 300. And George can't call. I'm not quite sure why Allen did not bet the turn.
Thanks for the 2
I mean, you got to look at that board there. It's 9-6 deuce rainbow. You got to think maybe your opponent has, say, 7-8, or maybe a 9, like 10-9 or 9-8. And either way, I really want to charge my opponent for his first draw, whether it be a two-pair draw or a straight draw. I like the bet on the flop. Why not continue? Make a $300 bet on the turn. He probably takes it down right there and then. You kind of wonder, would Allen have lost a lot of money had a 5 come on the river? Button moves over to C8. That's Kenny. Small blind is Allen. Big blind is Mo. And Mike raises it up with King-Jack offsuit. Makes it 150 and gets called in 2 spots. Both blinds call.
Yeah, so it's going to be about a $500 pot here going 3 ways. Mike, the pre-flop raiser. Mo's at top pair here with Jack 7. Let's see how he's going to play it. He's going to let Mike continue to bet, but Mike takes a card and the turn's an ace, and now Allen has the best hand.
Yeah, and Allen bets it.
Yeah. Mo calls. And you wonder if Mo is making a call here to try to bluff Allen off on the river.
Maybe,
Sometimes he does that. River's a 10. See if Allen checks. No, he's going to throw a little stop bet out here. And Mo maybe just thinks he has the best hand with a 7. But
yeah,
wow.
Good.
Wow.
I mean, the thing you wonder here is, I mean, is this the new Allen that is capable of bluffing twice?
Yeah.
And Mo thinks that maybe Allen is bluffing twice there? Wow.
He's really changed up. I told you, Dave.
He's on absolute fire.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I noticed it. I told you I noticed it about 3 weeks ago when I saw him bluff when I was in a game with him. I was like, Allen? Is that you? But hand it to him. He's really improved his game. And I guess that's what I was talking about last night when I was talking about, like, you know, Darwin's theory of evolution in the sense, you know, only the best will survive. Even a player like Allen, who's obviously not a professional poker player, he's a very successful businessman, he eventually will either quit playing poker or improve his game a little bit. And sure enough, he has improved his game a little bit.
Kirk is linked in here with an ace-jack suited. Allen calls, Mike calls. 5-way action, $250 pot. Queen 10-7 here. Looks like Allen might have the best hand here with 8-7. Kirk's got a gut shot. Allen does not bet with bottom here. Here we go, the turn. Turn's a 5. Allen still has the best hand.
Yes, he does.
But now Mo figures, you know what, maybe I can represent here. No one seems interested.
Yeah, and Mo is drawing completely dead here. He's got nothing. Mo doesn't even have a diamond in his hands. But nobody else has a diamond in his hand. Never had really either. Allen's got 7 of diamonds. But no, he's not going to get involved.
And a pair and a flush draw.
And I don't mind that fold at all by Allen.
He did have a pair and a flush draw.
He wasn't lying.
Got about 45 minutes left in the show.
You guys call me every fucking hand. You don't call me. Papa said ace. Don't get any incentive action.
Man,
Mike is, Mike's got a straddle here.
it's a good thing that he can stay unemotional, you know?
Right, right. Well, ace-king suited here from Mo. And Mo's on the button. And he's going to raise. He's going to make it 1,000, Dave. Open raise to 1,000. Actually, Allen limped in between.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to pick my spot. More, huh?
He said he's going to play like action Mo here.
There you go.
What happened?
You know, it's funny. It's a big game, but it's the same old faces that play the 10-20 game. So Mo's got to be comfortable playing against these guys.
All right.
And Mo, you imagine Mo is just going to pick up the dead money. Hey, he earned himself $250.
That's better than mine.
Mo does not show.
I don't want to give you bad tips. Oh my God.
Now, I would not be surprised if Mo is trying to set up a play here. If he does this 2 or 3 times the rest of the night, and he does it with some big hands, and maybe he gets called when he has a big hand.
We want everyone to check out the LA poker scene. Of course, you can click on the right-hand side of your screen. Or you can go to the LAPokerScene.com. Check it out. $500,000 free roll. Use the deposit bonus 5x 500K. Get you 5 free entries into stage 1 tournaments. And my knockout tournament is going to be Sunday, March 12th at, I believe, 3:30 Pacific time. So there you go. I guess that means I can't play in that winning the green tournament I wanted to play in. I mean, they tie me here, you know, Monday through Friday, and now on Sunday too. Ace, King, King here.
Who are you, Kip?
Mo with best hand here.
Yeah, he's got ace-9. We have that winning in the green schedule around here somewhere?
I was looking for it. I saw the Card Player magazine.
Oh, I took that out of here earlier.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Wow, he gets called by Mike with a jack-9. And Mo fills up now. And he's going to come out and bet again.
And once again, he's betting here, hoping that Mike might induce a bluff. And sure enough, look at this. Mike calls.
It's ace, king, king. It's not 3 aces on the board. It's aces and 2 kings. And the river's a 7.
Look at that board, folks.
Yeah.
And is Mike going to make a play at it or what? Or is Mike just calling him down thinking that he has 2 pair with a jack kicker and that's the best hand?
River is a 7 here. But I believe that Mike is checked.
You have collage?
No.
There we go. And Mike is, I believe, is he checked here? It's about a $2,500 pot.
He's checked, and Mo was thinking about it.
I have collage right here.
I mean, Mo's got the full house.
Mo's got, close to the nuts here.
Right.
He can only lose to pocket kings.
And he's going to bet again.
Of course he's gonna.
What was Mike? Was Mike trying to set a play up? I don't
I
quite
thought he was
understand
trying to
it.
set up a play, and I thought maybe there was a chance he just thought Jack High was the best hand. With 2 pair, aces and kings. I remember he's got the second
He
nut.
makes the call, Dave. He's going to make the call with Jack High.
Wow.
He made the call with Jack High on the river. Baron Vanguard Toth. Maybe I will take that bet.
Wow. It's not as insane a call as you might think. Sometimes you go Jack High. It is the second nut there. Actually, if you were to go crazy, Ray rocks, I tell you. Ray's rules. Ray went out and got me a magazine so I can get the winning in the green schedule. Now, if you start thinking of the hands somebody could have, okay, pocket aces are the nuts. Pocket kings are the second nut. Okay. Any ace is the third nut. Any king, I guess, would be the 4th nut. Queen would be the 5th nut. Okay? And Jack is the 6th nut. He did the 6th best hand possible. If you start thinking of all the hands somebody could possibly have. No, I guess pocket 7s are better, too.
Yeah.
Wow, well, man, you might call that with Queen, but hey, give Mo credit. The action that he gives, he certainly gets it.
If it works, I can make it 1,000 and 4
We got a real short game
Yeah,
here.
I think this game is going to break. This is actually the first time this has ever happened. I don't know what we're planning on doing here.
Well, maybe
as soon
you
as
can go out
something
there.
give me word.
Maybe you could go out there and play heads up with Mike. I know we've been battling for that. Would be great. Now, the March 12th tournament, by the way, you're not missing anything because it's the ladies' no limit hold'em.
All right. Well,
it's the Lips tournament.
Yeah.
So you're not going to miss anything. It's a $25,000 guaranteed ladies no limit. It's just for the ladies, and it's the Lips tour, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, there I am. Check it out. Wow. Look at the tournaments. Tomorrow night's tournament, by the way, is $50,000 guaranteed tournament starting at 4:15 p.m. Pretty cool.
We're getting word that we're going to switch this game to 1,000. I don't know exactly how long that's going to take to develop. I guess we have a board for 1,000.
Yeah. Well, there's already a $1,000 game going on. Normally on Wednesday nights we have two $25 games going,
right.
25-50 games, and a $1,000 game and a $500 game.
Yeah.
But I guess tonight we actually had $2,000 games going with a board.
Yeah.
So they're going to change this and fill it up real quick.
But they're going to have to change up the
chips.
The chips.
Yeah, exactly.
So let's see if we can take a look at the table here.
Let's do it.
Thank you.
Pretty exciting.
I just
table.
couldn't continue to look at it felt like I didn't have any freedom over here. I'm doing all kinds of things, on the table. I just love to, he lets to flip it onto us, but it's like,
I had Bart feeling a little self-conscious there, I guess. Felt like he had no freedom, didn't want to do anything.
I know.
I got you. Okay. Hey, I'm with you.
We're doing a radio show here, aren't we?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Give us a chance to go through some of our new features here. A couple of the promotions here. LA Poker Scene, the home of the 5 cent. Look, this is great. You have a shot at the big time for a measly 5 cents. giving away five. They are giving away 5 vacation packages worth $15,000 each, which you can get for a nickel.
Yeah.
It's a 7-stage tournament running sit and goes 24 hours a day, and you can buy into stage 1 with a nickel, folks. I mean, hey, for 1 nickel, I'll take the risk playing against multiplayers.
Yeah, you can also check out pokerforever.com, and they usually have some sort of free roll that goes on Sundays, Sunday afternoons. If you earn 500 rake points playing through live play, you qualify for their free roll. You can check it out, pokerforever.com, of course, the LA Poker Street. And I'm going to be doing, my tournament is, again, March 12th at 3:30 Pacific time. This time it's $10 plus 1. I know all you can afford it. We can get more than 3 people this time.
So it's a $10 tournament, okay.
Yeah, 10 plus 1.
Well, I think, since I'm not eligible to play in the ladies' no limit hold'em tournament, and plus with a $100 bounty on your head.
$100 bounty on my head, too, so that's a little overlay as well.
That's a nice little free roll there.
Yeah.
Why not? Jump on it.
I'm going to support that, but 1,500, 1,800. That part was already over 2,000. I'm going to bet minimum 1,800. Then I'm going to push out.
And unfortunately, this rarely happens tonight.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, we're having trouble placing a game tonight, believe it or not.
I don't know exactly what
A rarity at live at the bike.
The first time this has ever happened.
Yeah.
Started this game.
We've now had this game. We've now had live bike going for more than a year, folks.
Yeah.
And we've never had this happen. But you can't force. Remember, this is a cash game. It's not a tournament, folks. And you cannot force somebody to stay in the game. So.
JC, come on. You're going to change it.
Well, let's see. Maybe we get some more players if it's going to go to 1,000.
$1,000.
Donald's going to bring what?
I just want to see you play Mike heads up.
Well, that would have been
This
nice.
is a great time to do it, too. Mike is running bad, and he's tilting.
Yeah.
Brown chips only.
Yeah, he probably just blow off his chips to you.
Only brown chips.
Go jump on it right now, man. I'm telling you.
So, of course, we only get a chance to play in some of the tournaments on the weekends, but I am looking forward to it, Dave. You were talking about probably going to take some time off when I normally go and play a long session on a late Friday night.
Yeah.
And I'm going to play on Saturday, because Saturday we're going to have a multi-rebuy tournament. I'm not a huge fan of multi-rebuy setups. Like Saturday, for example, it's $100,000 guaranteed 200 multi-rebuy. But especially, at the bike, they might start you with 500 chips. It puts you at a real disadvantage if you're just taking one shot.
I mean, to be honest with you, if I'm going to take one shot, I don't play that tournament.
Yeah.
To me, that's really an $800 tournament.
An $800 tournament.
Oh yeah, I want to buy in right away. I might even do a rebuy right away and then do a double add-on. So I really have 2,000 chips.
The next Saturday, they've got a 300 multi-rebuy, which is $150,000 guarantee. But you're right, that Sunday is the Lips tournament.
Yeah.
So there you go.
So no problem whatsoever.
March 12th.
Now, I just want to talk about a new feature that we're going to be doing, where we're going to be doing kind of like email question of the week, okay? And what we need from you guys at home is I want you to email us your question, okay? And it can be a specific poker question, like how do you play ace-king in the big blind when you get raised by a maniac and there's 4 players behind you? I mean, whatever it might be, you can even talk about a specific hand that you played in a tournament or in a cash game, and we're going to do our best to answer it. And it's going to be a new feature that's going to be on liveatthebike.com. So look for it at liveatthebike.com.
Yeah, we're going to actually be having a lot of different things. Hopefully, I'm going to throw a couple things out there. I mean, we might be start doing some video blogs at liveatthebike.com.
Yep.
Some live journals types of things. I mean, you're going to be seeing a lot of different things, Dave, as you and I move away from propping and actually dedicate more time to the show.
Right.
But of course, I mean, you've just check out the website. I mean, if you're going to the Windows Media address directly, I think you're missing out on a lot.
Definitely.
We've got a lot of new features coming on to the website.
Yeah, I mean,
so check it out.
The funny thing is, I actually checked out the website last night, and I didn't even realize that our producer had added on a couple of new features.
Yeah.
Like there's poker news now. You can click on it. You can kind of see, wow, check this out. I mean, what's going on in the poker world?
Right.
Which is really interesting.
Email here from Skip C. He said, I thought Doyle's book was the Bible for cash games. Guess he is referring to Super System 1.
Yeah, well, he's talking about I guess he's talking about the no limit hold'em section specifically. Yeah. And that's not a bad. I mean, a lot of people talk about, hey, there's no limit cash game book out there. Well, hey, Doyle Brunson's Super System 1 is pretty good.
Yep.
The one thing about Doyle Brunson's book is, and I really like the book, but it kind of teaches you the Doyle Brunson way of playing. And there are other ways to play the game.
Right. No, absolutely.
And we look at Brian Lee in seat number 2. We got Juan in seat number 8. A couple players joining in here.
Mike is the white Alex Powers. He called me with Jack High.
There we go.
We had another email here from Keith Jenkins. He says, hey guys, I haven't been seen so much tipping going on at the table. Do all of these guys tip every time they win? Yesterday it looked like the guys were maybe tipping $1 or $2. What do you consider as a decent tip after you rake a big pot or any pot? You've got to realize if you're doing this as a profession, it's a thing where you can't necessarily be tipping $5 or $10 each pot, Dave, even if it's a big pot that you win. You're going to be tipping away all your winnings. I mean, I really like giving $1 per pot.
Yeah, I mean, I'll even go further than that and say I don't like the tip based on my winning, because obviously the dealer has nothing to do with whether I win a hand or lose a hand. Oftentimes, if I don't win a pot at all during a dealer session, but I thought the dealer did a good job, I'll toke her a couple of dollars or even $3 during her 30-minute stay, say.
Right.
And oftentimes, if I think a dealer is doing a bad job or not paying attention, which drives me more, that drives me up the wall. Everybody makes mistakes once in a while, and I can live with those. But when a dealer doesn't pay attention to the table, and it's obviously clearly their mind is on something else, that's what drives me up the wall. Well, and then I won't tip anyway.
It's interesting. I was going to bring this up to you off the air. I don't know if we're going to start now, but I could tell you a story here.
Go ahead, we have time. They're going to get a couple minutes.
I think that Jay and I had a hand. Of course, Jay was on the show earlier today, and we had a hand. I had limped him with 8-6 of clubs, and he had called. Or excuse me, he had raised it up pre-flop, and I called, and somebody in between called. The flop came 6-6-9. I'd flop trip 6.
Okay.
I checked it to him. He bet, and I check raised all in. And he said, I'm going to call you. I heard that. I heard him say, I'm going to call you. Do you want to make a deal? I said, okay. What do you have? I turned my cards over, and it was 8-6. Then he starts looking and looking. And I'm like, why isn't the money in the pot? And then he says, no, I said, I might call you. I didn't say I'm going to call you. And everybody else at the table wouldn't back me up. They were either not paying attention, and the dealer couldn't understand what he said either. Now, Hava Abbas was sitting next to me, and he actually said, I agree with Bart, but I think Hava was a little bit uncomfortable getting in the middle of the situation because he wasn't in the hand. So he actually walked away. And then, I'm sitting there like, this is ludicrous. This was an extra $1,000. So Sam comes over, the floor man, and he's like, it's up to you, Bart. Or actually, Jay said, it's up to you. Whatever you want, I'll do it. So it put me in an awkward position, Dave. I actually ended up just taking the money in the pot and not making him call, even though I heard him say I'm going to call. Now, I actually wanted to ask you about this off air because I don't know if you would have done the same thing, but I felt as a little bit of an ambassador working for this casino, I was not obligated to do it, but for some reason, I decided to do it. But I think he was really playing an angle at me.
I think you made the right decision, but for different reasons. And I'll tell you in 1 second here.
Well, we're going to get back into the action here.
Yeah,
but it was $900, Dave.
Yeah, interesting flop here, by the way. We've got King Queen in seat 1 from Mo. The flop is Ace King 10 Rainbow. Once again, there it is, Ace King 10 Rainbow. Mo has got King Queen, so he's got a second pair with a gut shot.
Yeah.
But seat number 7, that's Kenny Wynn. He's got top pair with a gut shot as well. That's Mo's hand there. And the 6 of clubs on the turn doesn't change anything. Kenny Wynn's still in the lead here, and he's going to bet again, it looks like. Once again, now we're playing 10-20 blinds now, folks. Game is still very big.
Yeah.
Not quite as big as before, though.
He's going to come out and bet. He's going to bet 350 here.
And, wow, is Mo going to call? I mean, we're calling Kenny Wynn?
Yeah, he's calling with King Queen here.
Wow. I mean, real surprising.
Here we go to the river. The river's a deuce of hearts. And Ace Jack is still good. And Kenny looks like he's going to bet again. He's going to push the rest of it all in here, Dave. You wonder if he thinks he has the best hand. I mean, it's another maybe... I mean, this pot is gone. The pot's probably somewhere around $1,000, and he's moving in for the rest, well, 300 here.
Wow, well, the interesting thing is, I mean, maybe Kenny thinks, well, if Mo was calling me with ace-queen, maybe I can represent 2-pair and get him off it?
Well, or maybe it's just a value bet here. I mean, it's 300. He only has 300 left.
Well, either or. I mean, either or, right.
I mean, Mo's trying to figure out what the pot size here. Again, I don't think Mo's going to call. Even for this, I can't imagine that he thinks he's good here.
And there's a reason why Mo gives action, by the way. You see the action Mo gets, and it's because he gives action. He gives the appearance of being a gambler, kind of a crazy man.
Wow, he makes the call.
Yeah, and
he's going to make the call. It was actually about 330 there, and Kenny's going to take down the pot right there.
That's almost a $2,000 pot right there.
So anyways, now that I brought this up on the air, I'd love to hear what you had to say about it, because I was going to actually talk to you about this. And I almost felt like afterwards that I kind of pussyfied myself, that I let somebody roll over me and made an angle, and knowing that I was correct.
You know what it is? You know what it is? It's the interesting play is there. Jay is a regular customer here, but more than being a regular, I don't think it has anything to do with the fact that you work for the bike. It's more of you make a living playing poker here.
Right.
Specifically at this club.
That I don't want to necessarily piss him off or something like that.
Well, I
can get that money back eventually.
That's more of it. Yeah, I mean, I've seen numerous times where Mo will actually take it easy on, say, a player like Jay, somebody like that, because he doesn't want to lose his business.
Right.
He wants him to continually come into the casino.
Right. Now, the funny thing is that Mo's going to raise this one up to 150 here with King Jack offsuit. Hob was actually talking, again, Hob has been on the show, I think, a couple times commentating. He's actually talked to me about that hand, and he said, well, you know what, I might have done it differently than you, Bart, because I knew that he was just going to give his money to somebody else at the table. I mean, it's not like he was going to be broke and then he was going to leave.
You know, I mean, in all honesty, I probably would.
It put Hob in a tough spot, too, because, again, he thought, I think he agreed with me, but he didn't necessarily want to take a stand against the other people at the table, saying we didn't hear it.
I probably would have left it too, and I don't blame Hob for not stepping up and saying anything. But in the end, I mean, if I'm you, I probably put the decision back into Jay's hand, and I go, Jay, listen, you know what you said. If you didn't call, then don't put the money in. If you did call, then put the money in. And I leave it up to him.
Yeah, well, he was trying to really not give me the opportunity to do that, though.
You know, I don't want this. You know what I mean? It's not up to me. It's up to you. Are you calling or not? That's it.
Five-way action here. Limped around. Again, we're playing 10-20 blinds now.
Open-ended straight draw for seat 5.
3-5-7 here on the flop. Seat 5's name is Wing.
Yeah, Wing there, open-ended.
And look at Sylvester over there in seat 3. And the button's going to come out the button's going to come out and bet here. That's Bert. Top pair, straight draw.
Top pair, straight draw. He's got a pretty big hand.
And Bert is going to get called here by seat 5.
Well, Wing calls it the open-ended straight draw there.
Well, Wing actually has 2 pair here, Dave. Excuse me.
No.
I'm sorry. I got confused. It looked like someone had 3-5 in there. The river is
look
6.
at that.
Wow.
And Wing makes a straight, but Bert makes
Bert's
2
got
pair.
2 pair, right. It is a one-liner, though, here.
It is.
Someone with a 4.
But would you put somebody on a 4 here? You might, actually, with that kind of board, and he called you.
And Wing's going to come out and bet. It looks like maybe 150 here.
Nice little value bet on the river.
Called.
And Bert calls him with 2 pair.
Now, Wing plays this game pretty straightforward as well. I'm pretty familiar with the way that Wing plays, because I almost play with him every day in the 5-10 game.
Now, Bert paid him off on the river, and I can't blame him for paying it off. It wasn't a very big bet. But the only thing I'm wondering is, did he not think for a second this guy might have a 4 deuce or something?
Yeah.
You got to start putting your opponents on hands when they call you. What might this guy have?
Yeah. Again, you can email us at live@thebike.com. Questions, comments, suggestions.
I mean, what I'll often do is if I have a dispute with somebody where I think they've done something different, I go, listen, you know what? Whatever you, I'm going to hold. I'm going to hold you to your word, okay? Yeah. I'm going to trust that you're going to be honest with me. So whatever you say, you did. Go ahead.
Sylvester's going to raise this one up to 80 here, and Mike, who's in the game, he's going to call with Ace Jack. So Sylvester, I don't know if you've ever seen him play this big.
He played this big one time, but he bought it very, very small. He bought it for a short stack, and he quickly went broke.
Juan is going to make the call here with a suited connector. And here we go. We're going to see 4-way action here. Bo's in there with King 10. Or, excuse me, King 9 suited.
4 deuce good again here. Flop is 4 deuce deuce, folks.
And it's missed everyone. Now, Juan's got a gut shot to the 3. And Sylvester's going to come out. You know, he's pretty aggressive post flop. He's going to bet 300 in position here.
Yeah, I was wondering how Sylvester's aggressiveness would translate into this game.
Yeah.
Sometimes aggressive players that change up their game when they move up a little bit.
Mike makes the call. Oh, wow. And the turn is a jack. Mike spikes 3 outs, and he comes out and he's going to bet. He can bet 600.
The only thing I'm wondering, though, is do you really think, is there any chance Mike might have bet that anyway? Like Mike wasn't calling the flop to hit a jack, was he?
Yeah. Again, Sylvester's pretty short here, it looks like.
Yeah.
There's actually 1,300 behind him getting word.
Okay, wow. So he's probably got close to $2,000 now.
You know, the style of play that I like to play, and I know the style of play you like to play, and usually Sylvester kind of follows our style of play. when stepping up into big no-limit games, I don't necessarily want to play in a game that's so big that I got to buy in for the minimum and just wait, because that's not my style of play. Like maybe in a limit game, you step up and buy in the minimum.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just
like if I'm going to play, in this
Yeah.
game. Well, now Sylvester actually has bought in this game for about $2,000 though.
Yeah, you know, depending on the lineup, that could be adequate.
Yeah, I mean this game I could buy in for $2,500, $2,000 would be fine.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of funny. I went to a college where it was the honor system. Everybody was held to the honor system.
Yeah.
Where when we took a test, all the teachers would actually leave the room.
Oh my God.
And you were held on honor, okay? And nobody would cheat.
Yeah.
And it was just your honor. And I kind of think as a poker player, your honor is everything, okay? Your word is everything. And that's what I would I would have turned it around and tried to put that on Jay.
And the more and more I think about it, Dave, the more and more I could have made a big stink and almost proven that Jay had called, because why would I have turned my cards over? I could have told the floor man a set of circumstances that happened, actions that were outside of verbal statements that really would have proven that he made a call.
Yeah, it's
but
difficult.
It's all elementary now.
We get a raise here from seat 4. That's that's actually Bert.
Pocket queens.
Going to raise the queens. I don't know if he's going to get any action.
He made it 80. Sylvester's got king 10 off suit.
Yeah, but he's out of position with a hand that's easily dominated. Do you really want to call?
He makes the call.
I guess you do. And this is the kind of flop that he could get himself in trouble here.
Yeah, he's got top pair. And he's going to bet 200, Bert is. He's going to continue to bet. Bert plays this game pretty ABC as well, from what we've seen of him.
Yeah, Bert, actually, Mo is actually kind of
Make it 6.
taking Bert under his wing,
Yeah.
giving him some pointers. And I do like Bert's game.
And did Sylvester check raise it up to 600? I don't know if any... I think Sylvester's check raised it to 600. He made it 600
He
to
made
go.
it 6 total. There you go.
Yeah.
And he's 1,300 behind, folks. Remember that.
Yeah, and there it is. And now what is Bert going to do? It's on a draw heavy board here.
No, you might just call this. You might just call this and see what Sylvester does in turn.
Bert is really familiar with Sylvester's play. I think that you can continue on with the hand easily, but against a really tight player, you might not even get involved.
Heads up here with queens. I don't think there's any way I get away from this right now.
Against any player?
Not against any player, but against Sylvester here.
Right.
Heads up here. There's just too many hands. What am I going to put him on?
Yeah.
But I might just smooth call and see what Sylvester does on the turn.
Well, the pot's about $1,100, and it's $400 for Bert to call, and he's really thinking about it here.
Now Sylvester had limped in somewhat late position, mid to late position. Would he do that with aces and kings? That's the question. Would he limp in mid to late position with aces or kings? I don't know about that one.
He could have flopped a set 7s or 10s as well, obviously.
He definitely could, but like you said, you can't always play. You can't play poker in fear of the nuts every time.
Again, the more and more I play at high levels, the more and more as your overpair goes down. Like if you had jacks here, I think you become a little bit more concerned about the fact that you might be beaten with a higher overpair.
Yeah.
Now queens are in the median here.
Yeah, I just don't buy that Sylvester. Remember, Sylvester was not in early position. He's in middle position. Would he even limp in with, say, and Bert's going to move all in, I think.
Took him a while.
Well, I don't think he was ever going to fold. I think it's a question of do I smooth call or do I move in?
And now how much more is it? Like 600 it looks like. Might be 600 more here.
And the pot is what?
Well, the pot's about 20. Actually, it's 900 more. The pot's about 23 or 2,400, 900 for Sylvester to call. I mean, he's getting.
Actually, the pot's higher than that, though. I mean, because remember it was 600. He called the 600.
Right, and then he makes.
And then it was a 200. Oh, and it was. And
actually, you're right. No, it's about 25 to 27.
Okay, there you
about
go.
1,000 a call. He's getting about 2.5 to 1. But again, if he's up against an overpair, wow! And Sylvester is gonna blow through this money. We're gonna have one of the biggest pots of the night here.
Yeah.
They're asking if they want to run a deal. We've got about a $4,000 pot. I mean, sometimes, again, I wonder about Sylvester. We have respect for his game, but why does he get himself involved in these situations?
Well, you know what, though? I have respect for his game at the 3 to 5 level and the $200 level. You know, at this level, I'm not sure. I mean, he played this kind of donkey-ish, I might say.
Yeah.
He called a raise from a tight player out of position with a bad hand. Hit a little piece of it, and he's going to go broke with it. I mean, unless he catches one of his 5 outs.
And Mo is actually explaining to Bert, running it multiple times, because it does not seem like Bert knows about this.
Run it twice? Is that all right if you Sebastian?
All right, so
And they're going to run it 2 times.
Sebastian needs to spike a 10 here or a king.
Yep.
Turns a 9. And we go to the river the first time. River's a 7. Well,
No
Bert's
good.
going to win that one. Again, this is a difference of about $4,000. Turns a jack. River's a 5, and Sylvester, he just blows right through it, and Bert's going to take it down.
Double up there.
Wow. And, you wonder, again, the guy, he probably grinds it out in 3 to 5. I see him here all the time.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about Sylvester. And then, like I said, you kind of take a step up here, and you take a step up and you make a mistake, and you might have lost the whole amount of money that you might have won in the last 2 weeks, right?
Sometimes I'll throw this at you, Bart. Sometimes when players move up a level, instead of actually tightening up, they're so worried that they're going to play too tight.
And they're going to get bluffed out of hands and such
They're
like
so
that.
worried that they're almost an easy mark that they start playing it too loose.
Right.
And you see there, Sylvester just kind of, literally, I mean, and I like Sylvester. He's a good guy, but he donked through $2,000.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to my honor system from my college days. I'm a big believer in the honor system, okay? You're only as good as your word, okay? And to me, that's the question of it. You go, well, Jay...
I just keep trying to play back in my head that, is there some way that maybe I was mistaken? And I honestly don't think that it was, but I've kind of gone through it now. But
I mean, it's almost impossible. Flop here of 9, 6, deuce, rainbow gets checked around, turns a 5.
Yeah.
And interesting hand here. Mike has a double gutter here. He needs a 4 or an 8 for a straight.
Gets checked around once again.
And the Queen of Hearts doesn't change anything, but Juan now is the best hand.
Yeah, on the button here.
And Juan will not bet down the button. He takes it down there.
Juan's a pretty conservative player as well.
A very conservative player. He'll make a move once in a while, very similar to Kenny Wynn, but I like Kenny Wynn's game a little better.
Yeah.
It's there's no way a floor man is going to rule against Jay there because it's just too easy. But you said, I'm going to call, and he said, I might call.
Especially people at the table. And the reason why I'm even bringing this up is because you talked about dealers not paying attention. The dealer had no clue. He had no clue. I'm like, what did you think? You were sitting, I was in seat 1, and he was in seat 3.
And the dealer had no...
He was like, he was counting chips. I didn't hear what he said. And then the people on the other side of the table, Jay, he's Pakistani, he has a bit of an accent. So, it could definitely be misconstrued.
Of course.
So he couldn't get a clear-cut answer. Sam, I like Sam as a foreman. He came over. He just couldn't give a clear-cut answer,
Well, Sam wasn't there. He doesn't know. You can't expect the players at the table to be paying attention either. Maybe they didn't hear it.
Right.
But the dealer, it is the dealer's job to obviously pay attention.
Seat 4 is going to bring this one with pocket 8s. Wing is going to make a call with ace-queen suited. And Mo's got the real hand. He's going to make a re-raise with queens. He's in the small blinds. And we've already got 2 callers, 110, 110, 110. Mo's going to come back and raise over the top here.
And he makes a healthy raise.
600 more here.
And we had about $350 of dead money in there.
Yeah.
So the pot is now, I want to say, about $1,100, 600 to call. And Brian is thinking about it. Brian has got pocket 5s, and I think it's a question of, am I going to get a lot of callers? And do I have, and we have Brian Kim there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. You have to know what you're doing.
And he's not going to call. And is that going to get Bert involved? No, I don't think Bert wants to play Mo heads up here. And I think he's going to throw that away.
Would you call with pocket 8s there? Are you kidding me?
I probably would not.
Yeah.
Unless I was very, very deep.
Yeah.
And Allen's obviously not going to play 9-10 here. And Mo's going to take down about a $400, about a $1,000 pot, obviously $700, which is
and again, not to beat this topic down, and I don't know if that was his intention or what. Talking about Jay, because I actually don't. I like Jay. I don't want to lose him as a customer here. But it kind of put me in an awkward spot, like he said, when he said it's up to you. And I actually told Mo, I'm in a real tough spot here. I don't really know what to do. I know the guy said, I'm going to call.
Yeah, it's unlike him.
Jay doesn't usually do that. I've never seen him do that before.
Yeah, the only question I'm wondering is if he didn't say I might call, did he say if I'm going to call? will we make a deal? I mean, I've never seen Jay do that. It's very, very. I don't know. I mean, it's very unlike him. He's not here to make money.
Right.
It's not like he's going to make an angle.
Right. Wow, pocket aces over here for Juan.
It's something I do expect from some other players, but not from him.
Well, that's why I wasn't really that torn up about it at the time, Dave. I didn't make a huge stink because it was Jay, and he just.
Yeah. Mike made it $80, by the way, and Juan there in seat 8 made it $280 with aces. I don't imagine there's going to be a flop here, and there's not.
Now, I think that several people pop in our heads. We're not going to say them out loud here about how you would make a stink about it, right?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
If I really thought somebody was taking an angle on me, the question is, maybe Jay misspoke even,
Yeah.
You just wonder. Obviously, it's a good lesson to learn for you and for the players.
Absolutely.
At home.
I'll
never turn your hand over or never release a hand, folks.
Yeah.
Be careful to protect your hand.
Yeah.
You are the only one that can protect your own hand.
And again, in the biggest scheme of things, as you play this game day in, day out, $700 just really isn't that much, especially when he's in the game.
Well, that's the thing.
What I mean? It's just,
is it worth it to really alienate a good guy and a good customer?
Right.
Which is why I think he made the right decision there.
King Queen suited here for Mike. He's going to raise it up to 80.
But I would actually do that. I would make that same move whether I worked here or not.
Right.
Okay, if I was Hov, and Hov does not work here, he's just a professional poker player,
right.
I would probably do that same thing. $700 is just not that important in the scheme of things.
Well, Mike raised here, and Brian called, and Bert might be playing the player. He's going to make the call with ace-8 here. Well, Bert flops a pair, and Brian and Mike both have second pair. 230. Mike's going to come out and lead for 230 here, a little above the pot-sized bet. Now, how is Bert going to play this hand out of position?
Well, that's the problem with a hand like ace-8 offsuit here. It's got really very little value.
The other thing, too, is you got to take into account. And Brian, I have a lot of respect for Brian's game. Sometimes he does some crazy things. But if he makes a call here, are you really going to get involved with ace-8? And actually, you know what? Brian might raise. It looks like he's got a bunch of white chips in his hand.
Well, Brian just calls. I'm not getting involved. And I think with Bert behind, I think that's why Brian threw it away.
Well, Bert does make the call. Well, the turn's a heart. Now Mike has a heart draw as well.
And let's see if Mike takes the free card.
Yeah, he does take a card. Here we go to the river. Well, the river's a 10. And Bert probably might just check this again. It might go check, and it does.
And that's the problem with ace-8, folks. Some people can go, wait, what's wrong with it? He won a hand.
Yeah.
Well, once again, we always say you either win a small pot, or you lose a big one. Because if Mike's got a big hand there, if he's got ace-king or ace-queen, you're going to continually pay him off.
Right. Got a little over 10 minutes, maybe 10 minutes left of the show here, folks.
Get an email there from another player. I want to say Adam Wagoner about tipping dealers. Yeah, I mean, to me, you really shouldn't be tipping based on whether you're winning or losing. I mean, what does a dealer have to do with that?
Yeah. But again, the whole reason why I told that story was because I was just angry, as I often get with dealers that just they're just going through the motions.
Of course,
you know what I mean?
right.
And it's...
You try to explain to them, listen, we're playing for real money here.
Yeah.
Your job is to pay attention to the game, run the game.
We had a raise here, I believe, by Allen with king, queen suited. We can't see Mike's hand. We got one in there with pocket 8s. Pretty big hand here for Allen. Jack 10 deuce.
Yeah, he's got backdoor diamonds.
Well, Mike's got ace 10. He's got second pair. Pot's about $250 here.
Let's see if Allen bets this here.
He took a card, Dave. He took a card.
Okay.
Turns with 4.
But the interesting thing is, if Allen bets that, he might take it down.
And now Mike's going to bet 200. Let's see what Allen's going to do. He's going to make the call. Allen could catch an ace, a king, a queen, or a 9 here. And the river's a queen. That's
there you
good.
go.
And he might just check it. Yeah. Well, yeah, that's actually a pretty good hand on that flop.
Yeah,
Mike.
and Mike's just wondering, what do you call me with?
Yeah.
What, queen 3?
I mean, that hand also, Dave, king, queen there. I mean, I'm not usually a player that does this. But, I mean, you could check it there once on the turn, and if a blank comes and the guy bets into you from early position, your hand's big enough to make a move on the turn in position and raise.
Yeah. I mean, what I'll often do if I'm Allen there is I'll often bet the flop, okay?
Yeah.
See if I can take it down right there. And if somebody calls me and they check me on the turn, I'll often take the free card on the turn.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now I get to see a free river.
But again, I still think that hand is big enough where you can actually put a guy to the test and raise him on the turn.
You could.
You know?
But I definitely think in position, why not bet it?
Yeah.
You might just take it down, especially with Allen's edge.
Looks like Brian's going to raise here to 240.
Get an email here from John Alden about running it twice. If you want to know about running it twice, go to live@thebike.com, spelled out.
Yeah.
And if you go to As Seen on Live the Bike, it's on the left-hand side. You click on that. We explain running the river more than once, or running it more than once in any the turn and the river.
Yep.
I think we've actually told people about that so many times that we finally smartened up and put it on the website.
Yeah. And I think it is interesting that I was just thinking that on GSN's show that they would not incorporate it within the show because it would just be too confusing. Well, they do, but they don't give a good explanation. Nobody as a recreational viewer is going to watch that and have any clue what they're doing. I mean, they did this little segment with Eli Ezra about running it more than once, and he's like, yeah, well, if you're a favorite, you're going to win it at least 1 out of 3 times. No description about how it does not change the expected value, how you chop the pot by the number of times you run the cards.
Right.
We get a raise here to 120 here by Mike on the button. And Mike is going to take it down there.
It's funny. I mean, you see an email here you see a 2+2+ from Boondoggle saying here, some of the most degenerate people frequent casinos. What were you expecting, Bart? And the interesting thing is, you know what? As I've kind of delved into the poker world and I've met a lot of poker players, I find completely the opposite. And it's funny, when I first told my mother what kind of business I was getting into, she was like, oh my God, those degenerate poker players. And I got to tell you, some of the nicest people I've ever met are poker players.
Well, the interesting thing, too, is, and I was talking to somebody about this, about how she makes good contacts in a poker room. At the levels that we play at, Dave, the recreational poker players that we run into are pretty wealthy businessmen.
Right.
It's, you're not in there with, maybe say down on the green chip level down there in the Royal section, 4-8, 3-6, you kind of see some degenerates. I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there.
You can get degenerates in any line of business, okay?
But if you're sitting there and playing 5-10 no limit or 10-20 no limit recreationally, I mean, you can imagine. You say, oh, what's your bankroll to play this game? How about if you're playing this game recreationally, how much expendable money you think you have on the side?
I mean, the thing is, I meet some of the nicest people in the world. I just had a conversation with this guy the other day who, he talks to me about investing money. He just took a month vacation with his wife to Europe. I mean, he's just a class individual, and I see it time and time again. The people as a whole in the poker community are really, it's really a classy group.
Juan is going to raise it up here to 120. And Bert here is going to limp call with ace-3 of hearts against Juan. Kind of a little bit of a mistake there, obviously, pre-flop, I think. He's going to take it heads up here. 9-4-7. Bert checks.
At a position with a hand that's easily dominated.
Well, Juan's going to check right behind him, and now Bert backs into the best hand with a pair of 3s.
Yeah, I mean, ace-high was the best already, but how does he know that?
He checks again, and now Juan looks like he might bet. And if you're Bert, are you going to get involved now? Do you put the guy in a couple high cards? You check behind you.
Well, Juan can play cagey. I mean, Juan has been known to even check that sometimes, but it is a little bit odd.
Yeah, and Bert just folds.
What kind of hand would Juan check the flop with and now bet on that turn?
I mean, against a hand that you limp called with, I mean, would you possibly check? I don't think that you would ever check queens or kings because of the possibility of an ace coming. Could you check aces? I mean, it's almost like he played it like he had nothing or he just flopped a set, because I don't think Juan checks aces in that spot either.
Maybe aces. I mean, I've seen Juan play it weird like that.
Aces. But not queens or kings.
I don't
jacks
think
there,
so.
Right?
Yeah,
There's just no way.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Only a couple of hands left.
To Allen.
I mean, the funny thing is when you talk about degenerate people, I mean, you tell me a line of work anywhere where you're not going to find a couple of degenerates.
Right. Yeah, what about the government, Dave?
Oh, right. There you go.
Yeah.
They're all upstanding. And
Right. It's funny, I had a buddy that used to work in Washington, D.C. He always used to tell me stories about how Washington is a crazy city outside of work. Like, just the stuff that's going on there.
Right.
7-5 deuce.
Flop misses everybody here.
Here we go to the turn. The turn's a 4. Looks like Mo is open-ended now.
Yeah, Allen's actually open-ended.
Well, Mo is open-ended, and so is Allen. Mo has really bad open-ended. And he's going to make the call, because if a 6 comes, I mean, what's his straight like? He almost just needs to hit an ace here, right? River's a king. 6 comes, anyone with an 8 would have a straight.
Right. I mean, actually,
Yeah.
Mo was good at the 6 game, but how does he know that?
Right. And Mike is actually going to win here with 4s.
Yeah.
This is going to be the last hand of the night. Again, if you want to check out an interview that David and I did with Scott Huff, you can go to cardplayer.com, check out the circuit. He has a nice little podcast that he does. And I think he might have made a couple new entries from Bay 101. He's up there. Check it out.
So you got to go, like, what, 4 days ago, circuit?
Yeah. I still can't find it in my iTunes, but you can go directly to the website. And we're right there. Interesting, about a 45-minute interview in Commerce Hotel Room 510, right? That's what the studio had become.
There you go.
Yeah.
Hey, is that Bluff Magazine poll still going?
I think it still might be, yeah. You can go to Reader's Choice, bluffmagazine.com/Reader's Choice. Vote for Dave and Bart.
Yeah, if you like the show, we appreciate it. Go to liveatthebike.com. Actually, on the left-hand side is vote for Bart and Dave.
Yeah.
Click on that. It'll take you to the poll.
Mike's going to raise it up here to 100. He's got pocket jacks. Now, Bert's going to make the call here with 4s.
3 players.
And Brian's going to, oftentimes we talk about when you make this call with these small pocket pairs against a raiser like Mike, he might not necessarily have a big hand.
Yeah, there's not as much implied odds against a player like Mike.
Ace 7-8. Mike's going to continue to bet here, and this is probably going to go bet forward.
And the problem is you have no idea where you're at.
And that's going to do it here for us. So, there we go. We had a little hiccup there in the last hour, but I think we recovered nicely.
Yes, we did.
So tomorrow night we're probably going to be doing $200 no limit or $80 no limit. Probably, kind of a short stacked game.
A smaller game.
So check us out. We'll be back here at 7 Pacific time. You can, of course, always watch a replay of this starting an hour from now all the way up until 5 p.m. tomorrow. So for everyone here in the booth, I'm Bart Hansen and Dave Tuckman. Good night, everybody, from Live with the Bike.
It's here. It's big. And it's closer than you think. It's not a tournament. It's what you don't see on TV. The cash is real. The stakes are high. They bet big. They win big. They lose big. High stakes live action poker. Live at the bike. Watch it live on the web or play it if you dare at the Bicycle Casino right here in Los Angeles.